Yes. How many lame wolf jokes have you had to endure over your life?
You know what? I like them.
Do you?
So, yeah,
What's the worst?
Bring them on. Joe List constantly tries to get the nickname Wolf of Wall Street started. Every time I see him, he's like, Wolf of Wall Street.
Why?
It's going to catch on. He says it to no one. It's going to catch on. It's going to catch on.
You were saying that you like the turmeric coffee, but you don't like to admit that you like that stuff?
Yeah, I like recently got into like all this like kind of like, you know, this like new agey health stuff and crystals.
You got into crystals?
I mean, a little bit. I'm on the fringe of the crystal. You know, might
real?
be wearing a little rose quartz. And
What do you like? What's the thought behind being into crystals?
I honestly think it's a lot of it's like just in your 30s at some point.
Oh, okay.
As a woman, I think you get into crystals.
Yeah, if you don't get a kid or a dog.
Yeah, you kind of just like, you're just like, you know what? Maybe I can bring some energy from somewhere. It's like why not?
Start burning sage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it'll last forever. I just think I'm in a little bit of a crystal phase right
like
now.
a spiritual phase?
Kind of, yeah. I was like thinking about, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Why am I starting so embarrassing? I was thinking about maybe looking up like shamans in New York, you know, to be like, maybe I can get like, just explore the spiritual universe a little bit. I think it means I'm lonely.
It probably means you're lonely. But like shamans, like, do you want to do drugs?
Oh, I mean, I'd love to do ayahuasca.
Yeah, so that's if they're not going to be listed. You're gonna have to find some.
Right.
You can't just like Google them. Some narc can just kind of Google ayahuasca. You could get away with it legally right now in Oakland. If you go to Oakland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Oakland they fucking stepped up. They decriminalized everything.
Yeah, mushrooms are good.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. They're like, fuck it, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what we need. Slowly but surely, that's going to be the whole country.
I love mushrooms.
Want to do some right now?
And I have too many other things to do today, although I recently did them, and I all of a sudden, I didn't realize this had happened on mushrooms. I got so giggly. Like,
oh, yeah. If you take the right amount, you get super giggly.
Like, just giggled for hours. I was like, oh, this is the best. I'm sure I was annoying to everyone around me, which is also pretty normal, but like, you know, I'm giggling nonstop at anything.
Well, a lot of people are microdosing now, and what they're doing is they're taking like enough psilocybin so that you don't quite feel it. It's like knocking on the door, feeling it, like almost there. But they report this amazing alleviation of anxiety. They feel super creative and really friendly, and all these like powerful, positive vibes. But they're basically sober. Yeah,
I don't know. Does it affect you if you actually wanted to take
to blast off?
Yeah, would you have to take like an extraordinary amount?
No, you can always blast off. You're gonna be able to blast off every single time.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine that somehow or another it would get in the way. Yeah. The feeling that happens when you take a large dose, where it's like you just feel the tingling and you get fucking scared.
Yeah,
like that shit's coming.
I always have to put my hand here for hours, just like on my heart, like I'm just like
at the beginning of the Gulf War, like right after 9/11, Stanhope and I got fucked up on mushrooms like the day of the war, and we were watching TV, and they were like,
"We
all
got to serve our country some way."
That's how we do it. We get high and watch TV. And we were watching TV, and it said, "War coverage begins today at 5." And he goes, "Holy shit! There's a kickoff for the war." Like the invasion of Iraq, the most recent one, not Desert Storm, but the most recent one, that is forever cemented in my head by mushrooms and him saying, "Holy shit, there's a kickoff."
There's a coin toss.
It was so weird.
That would make war more fun.
Yeah.
If they were like, they broadcast it like a game.
It would, right? Yeah.
They're like, flag on the play. There's some IEDs.
It might be the future. Like when you have robot wars, Because in the future, I don't think people are going to be fighting people.
Robots scare me.
They should.
So much. I don't know why we're making them. I was doing a gig at MIT recently, and I spent like the first 10 minutes yelling at them to stop making robots. They make these cheetahs. Why are you making robot cheetahs? What is the point of that?
Well, that's Boston Dynamics. That's not MIT.
Well, yeah, but but there's all the same people. They're all working together.
Lex works at MIT. Yeah, he's a professor at MIT, Lex Friedman, who's a specialist in AI. He's been on this podcast a couple times before. Yeah. They're a little bit too blasé about it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I won't even have an Alexa in my home.
Oh, don't fuck that. They're listening.
Yeah.
They're listening.
And I also feel like that, like 10 years from now, people are going to be like, do you remember she said she didn't want to have an Alexa in her home?
Yeah.
Like, that's like going to be the new racist.
Scarlet
you hate
letter.
robots.
Yeah. They're going to put a mark in your door.
I'll never be senator now.
Yeah, they'll put a black X on your door. Doesn't like robots.
I hate them.
Never be senator. You don't want to be. You're not going to run for shit, right?
No.
Never.
I'm having too much fun.
Yeah.
Why would you want to stop having fun?
But did you think about, like, when Trump was giving you a hard time, did you think, hey, motherfucker, if I ran against you, I could really fuck you up? Did you ever think about that?
No.
For a second while he was tweeting against you and all the craziness that was going there?
Never. I'm like, first, it didn't even occur to me, but also I'm still 34, so I couldn't even run if I wanted to.
How old do you have to be? 36?
35.
35? You're
That's
close.
the only qualification for president. 35 and born here.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
There should be more.
Born there is important. Born here is super important.
Yeah.
Because you don't want anybody sneaking in and just ruining the entire country on the sneak tip.
Although if I was, like, I'd be like a long game terrorist. Yeah. You know, like be like, yeah, they were born here, but they were incels the whole time.
Yeah. Have the kids over here.
This is 3 generations of Americans.
Yeah, they plan in advance. Well, they do plan. Some terrorists and some organizations do plan things way in advance.
Yeah.
That's like the thing they say about China, that China plans things like hundreds of years out.
Yeah, they're good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We underestimate China.
Well, how about that fucking wall? How long did that take to make?
I don't know. Probably like 6 days, knowing how hard they work.
I think it took hundreds of years.
They were just like, no, we got this. Don't worry.
They were just getting tired of being invaded.
That country is like, they invented everything.
Everything.
And they've
been around forever.
They've been around forever. And and we just were like, no reason to be scared of them.
They've been China forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, America's a baby. A little tiny baby.
We're a little baby. We're a little asshole baby. It's not even.
They have bombs. They have the best electronics. They steal everything.
Yeah.
All the intellectual property. They're like, fuck you. They don't have any rules.
Yeah.
No, we copy.
I used to work at this tech company, and like we had a lot of Chinese people that worked. It was a computational biochemistry research lab. So of course we had a lot of Chinese people that worked there because they were.
What are you trying to say?
Very smart and qualified.
That sounds racist.
And that's my favorite thing is like when you're like, you're racist. I just said you were smart.
Hey, we said you're amazing. Is it racist that you guys are amazing?
Well, then people, they're like, not all Chinese people are doing well. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there's Chinese people that aren't doing well, but their parents never talk about them.
Well, there's a lot of Chinese people. When you say not all Chinese people are doing well, there's fucking a billion of them.
Yeah. There's plenty that aren't doing well, but the ones that are doing well are doing really well.
Yeah, you're concentrating on the glass is half empty.
Yeah.
Really.
But
there's a billion people.
The Chinese people that worked at this tech company, if they were Chinese nationals, they were only allowed to have access to certain parts. Like there were certain parts they had to keep separate from them and they couldn't know about.
Did they come over and stare at your computer?
I had one guy who worked there.
What are you working on?
And me, I'm just recruiting new people to work here. You're not going to get anything from me. I don't understand what we're doing here. But the one guy who worked there, he came over, didn't know any English, and he learned English by watching Seinfeld. So I kid you not, he had this Seinfeld cadence that he spoke with.
Where's the break room?
And he'd enter rooms a little bit like Kramer.
No.
I swear, not the full thing, but every time he'd come into the office, he'd be like, whoa.
No. Really?
I swear.
Whoa, that's weird. I wonder if there's an equivalent show in China where if you went over there and tried to learn Mandarin from a television show, like what would you concentrate on?
Yeah, it's like a way to hold your I'm going to get too racist. Hold on.
Chopsticks.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Don't
Isn't
say
it funny
it.
that
Don't say it.
chopsticks is racist? No, it's racial, you fucks. There's a difference between racial and racist.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoy chopsticks.
Yeah.
It's a great way to eat salad, by the way.
It's a great way to eat slower.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you want to eat rice. Yeah, it's real slow.
Yeah.
But if you want to eat salad, it's like the best way to eat salad.
That's
I eat
actually
salad with
good.
chopsticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
can
ever try to
really grab
get a fork in a tomato?
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But you can grab a lot of lettuce with them chopsticks. You know?
I'm going to try that next
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And, like forks with sushi, get the fuck out of here. You have to use chopsticks.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
great-
your hands.
yeah.
I use my hands a lot.
You're an animal. Look
Yeah,
at you.
yeah.
Savage, like a wolf. Oh.
Let's see how many we can get in this podcast.
We can get a couple. I got some photos of wolves. Did you see those wolves out there?
Oh, I saw those wolves.
Crazy, right?
I have wolf paw tattoo on my
Yeah?
side.
Do you really?
Yeah.
How much do you regret that? A lot or really a lot?
I love them. But people are always like, they're like, are those cat paws? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. That fits too.
Yeah, whatever. That's a weird one, the dog paw tattoo. That's a common weird one.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. It's like barbed wire.
Oh yeah, I love a good barbed wire tattoo. You got any barbed wire?
No, I got 2 sleeves though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
both these arms are sleeved.
Yeah.
But it's all traditional. Well, it's not really traditional Japanese stuff, but it's like Japanese new style American stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. No paws.
No paws.
Not that I wouldn't have got one.
I mean-
I'm lucky I didn't get a tattoo until I was like 25, and I didn't get sleeved till I was in my 30s
Yeah.
because I would have made some shit choices.
That should be a 30s decision.
Oh God, I see these kids today. They're fucking 18. They got face tattoos. Like, bro,
Yeah.
slow down.
It's such a fun decision to make for your whole life.
Like Post Malone. That kid's talented as fuck. Really talented.
Yeah.
But always tired? You tattooed always tired on your face?
Every time I see a picture of him, I get angry. I just want to be like, I don't spend a ton of time in hair and makeup, but anytime I have something, there's at least a little hair and makeup. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, why can't we just be that? Like,
Well, I think what he's doing and what a lot of people are doing is that they're like going way overboard to not give a fuck. Just like scribbling on their face.
oh yeah. Well, did you see the Lizzo thing from the Lakers game last night?
No, did you feel that?
Yeah, that's the truck. It
Oh, I thought it was
happens all the time. I do
I
too.
panicked.
Every
Oh,
day.
I've never been here for an earthquake.
Oh, we're due. We're due for a big one.
Oh, that's what everyone keeps saying.
They said that there was a recent shift in one of the tectonic plates that it was the first time it moved in 500 years.
Uh-oh.
And they're like, oh, Jesus. The other place I would think of moving to was Bozeman, Montana. You know why, Jamie? Because it's right next to Yellowstone. So if it blows,
gone.
it blows right on your fucking head.
Wait, if the geyser,
Well, do you know what Yellowstone is?
it's like a bunch of water under it, right? Hot water.
Much more than that. It's a
Doesn't
continent
sound like
destroyer.
it's just hot water, right?
It's a continent destroyer. It's a caldera volcano. They didn't find out about it until satellites.
Wait, is that the geyser?
Oh, it's way more than a geyser.
Okay,
The
but-
geyser's there, but the geyser is a result of underground volcanic activity.
Cool.
There's a super volcano under Yellowstone that's so fucking big that when they first saw it, they didn't know what it was. And then they realized it when they started looking at satellite images that it's essentially what happens when a volcano just completely explodes and the mountain disappears and it becomes like a crater.
Yeah.
So the whole top just blows up, and it happens every 600 to 800,000 years. And the last time it happened was about 600,000 years ago.
Uh-oh.
They have thousands of earthquakes there.
And you want to live there?
Great place to live.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's great out there.
Oh,
but
it's so
you want
pretty.
to be there for the explosion?
Well, I feel like if it blows, you want to be there because you don't want to be one of those people eating people. You know?
Oh, that's true.
You don't want
Yeah,
that.
That's why I never understood like bomb shelters and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
preppers.
No, I'd rather.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be around.
If an asteroid hits, you want it to hit you.
Yeah.
You literally want to see that giant city-sized thing just coming straight at you. Just
Yeah.
close your eyes and let's see what happens when you die.
Yeah. I don't want any shrapnel.
Yeah.
I want the full.
No, you don't want that.
I want the full asteroid to my face.
Well, there's been a bunch of super volcanoes that have killed people. There's one of them that we were talking about. What island was that, Jamie? There was one that happened somewhere around, I think it was Indonesia, where it killed most of the population on Earth. Where it was about 70,000 years ago. They were down to just a few thousand human beings.
Toba.
Toba. Is that near Indonesia, or am I making that up?
Yeah. Sumatra.
Sumatra, yeah. You know,
So where were the
they have good
1,000 people,
coffee. They
though?
make
Yeah,
good
great coffee.
Well, a few thousand people, other places other than that.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you get like nuclear winter,
Yeah.
where the entire atmosphere gets filled with volcanic dust, and it gets freezing cold. It blocks out the sun. Animals die. Look at that bitch. Woo! 75,000 years ago.
But look how pretty it is now.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's gorgeous now. But I mean, when you see mountains, that's the result of activity. You know, that's a result of plates moving and
Yeah.
shit moving upwards.
Wait, but we were talking the people really trying not to care. The Lakers game last night, Lizzo.
Oh, Jesus. Is that her?
Yeah.
What is she doing there?
And I went to the game last night, and she wore this T-shirt that had this big hole in the back, and she was just wearing a thong out of it. My theory is that she forgot underwear and then cut it, and she was like, I can fashion it out of this hole. But
I think that's calculated.
she, first of all, she's sitting on a seat
Right there?
right there.
Okay.
Her butt is on that plastic Delta courtside seat.
Well, you know, Lil Duval, he had a great point. He put it on his Twitter page. He said, how come when little skinny hot girls wear no clothes, everybody gets mad at them and calls them sluts? But when big giant girls, I don't think he said big giant girls. I think he just said big. I added giant. He's like, when when big girls dress like that, everybody celebrates.
Well, my biggest problem with it is that, like, you'll see all these women, I'm sure, being like, she's just confident. She's confident. And I'm like, why does it still have to be, like, it doesn't matter. It's still wrapped up in women, like, needing to feel sexy to feel confident.
Right.
Or I'm like,
Right.
or you can just be a really good artist.
No. No, to be confident, you have to stick your ass out.
Yeah.
It's super important.
Yeah, it's very important.
That's what people do when they're confident.
Yeah.
It's like when baboons, when they're in estrus. Look at her there, dancing around. Well, you also got to remember, she's only been getting a lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. How long has she been getting attention for? It hasn't been that long.
I feel like I've only known about her for like a year.
Yeah, so this is all new, you know?
Yeah.
Look, it's like she's got an old iPhone. Have you seen that iPhone? Back that up, Jamie. Back that up. That shit had bezels on it. Look. See the bezels on that phone? Back up. Look at that. See that? See the top? See the bottom? She's got an old iPhone.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
you might be one of them weird people who likes to do it as a choice.
I just don't want a bigger phone.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't fit in my pocket.
I get it. They're coming out with a new one, a new iPhone that's a real small one. Like
Yeah.
a 4-inch one.
You should call it a lady phone.
Lady phone.
See how mad
or for
people
people
get.
that are tired of fucking staring at their screen all day. Maybe it'd be like less interesting if it was
Are you one of
little.
those people that wants to get into like flip phones again?
No, I have thought about getting a flip phone, but the problem is everybody iMessages me.
Yeah.
And then I've switched over to Android before. It becomes a disaster. You miss
Yeah.
half the messages. Apple fucks you. They're
Yeah.
trying to keep you from switching over.
Of course. It's
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah. Well, when they figured out the blue text too, the blue bubble carries status.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Someone with a green bubble, it's just like what's wrong with you? Like what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, get your life together.
Or you were one of them tech weirdos. Like deep in tech, like you use Linux.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
You know?
You're just like coding all the time a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. Like
yeah.
you have your own, like you made like your own phone program.
Yeah. Like what is that? What do they do with their phones when they don't? It's not jailbreaking. You do that with an iPhone, but you do something
Same
different
thing.
with a. Is it the
I
same?
think it's the same thing, yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it had a different name because I don't think it's jail.
Oh, I know what you mean.
What is it called? It's like you
There's
do
various,
something.
There's various words for it. Depends on boot loading, stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. So basically, what they do is they erase everything off of the phone, start fresh with a clean version of Android.
Great.
And then they add their own skins and they add their own loaders and
Whatever makes them happy.
launchers.
You know?
They have launchers, different launchers. Which launcher are you using? They get really geeked out because with Android you could change everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't care.
I went back and forth. I tried Android to see, but the Apple experience is smoother. It's
Yeah.
a smoother experience.
I have a friend who only uses an iPad and can only get messages when it's connected to Wi-Fi.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's very frustrating when you're trying to get a hold of that person.
I have a friend who does that too.
It's just like,
Is
well,
it your friend Ari Shafir?
I mean, Ari does it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the same kind of thing.
Oh, I know another guy who does that too. I bet I know who you're talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, he does that.
But yeah, Ari. I mean, he'll get.
Well, Ari is an addict, and he knows it. He understands it, and I respect the fact that he made a proactive move.
Yeah.
To like say, look, this is fucking dumb. I have to figure out a way to not stare at my phone all day. I'll just get a flip phone.
Right.
But then he was like texting with the thumbs, doing that T9 thing. Oof.
Attell has a flip phone.
Oh yeah. Well, he has an iPhone too.
Oh.
Like literally iPhone 2. Like the number 2. He does. It is. It's a second generation iPhone. It's hilarious. He pulls it out of his pocket like what? He's like fucking receipts and diner matches and shit. Like he pulls this old ass iPhone. Attell's hilarious. Not just hilarious as a comic, but hilarious as a human character.
He's one of my favorites. He every once in a while he'll do like a joke check, and you'll get this weird text from him that's like, "Hey, does anyone have anything about raccoons and cats eating flags or something?" You know, it's like just a combination of like it's like a Mad Lib. You're like, "No, I've not heard that one before."
Well, I guess when you're a guy like him too, if you're writing jokes all the time, like everything's a joke.
Yeah.
Like you never know if you heard that before. Like you don't. Your memory only holds so much.
Of course, and he's like, I mean, his joke. He is all punchline.
Yes.
That's all it is.
But
yeah. And it's great.
It's fucking the best.
But it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, does anyone have jokes about like s'mores and and hot air balloons? You know,
he's to me, he's the most underappreciated master of our age.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a like legitimate master comedian, and you know, he doesn't get the kind of love that he should, like from the general public, because he has zero marketing.
Right.
Zero anything other than people saying he's awesome and people seeing him be awesome.
Yeah.
You know? And he's one of the rare guys that got sober and got better.
He really did. And also he'll bring candy to the club every once in a while, which I love candy. So
really?
I'm always happy.
Like he gives it to people?
Like he'll just bring bags of candy to the cellar every once in a while. And I'm like, I did want a little baby Ruth.
Just brings candy for people?
Yeah.
He's the best. Everybody loves him. Like nobody will tell you they hate Attell.
Yeah.
I've never heard that once.
He had this one, there's this one story of him doing crowd work. There was like a group of like Latino women in the front and mean mugging the whole time, just arms crossed, like enough that comics were talking about it. You know, like after their set, they'd be like, yeah, but then there's these women in the front. We couldn't break them at all. Attell gets on stage, looks immediately at them, and he goes, "Oh, why so sad? Did Selena die again?"
Oh my God, that's funny.
And
Did Selena die again?
Everyone laughed. They laughed. Like it's just like. But he has that like laser vision where he like sees it in the crowd. Oh. He has the perfect reference for it.
Did Selena die again? Holy shit, that's funny. Oh my God, that's funny. They'd have to laugh at that.
You have to. You can't not.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Did Selena die again? Holy fuck. Oh my God.
He's one of the greatest.
For sure. Like legitimately one of the greatest ever. Just doesn't get enough credit.
But there's a lot of in comedy right now too. Like, I mean, he's been around for decades and should definitely be like widely loved.
Who else?
But like, yeah, some of the younger guys too. It's like, you know, like this Mark Norman, Sam Morril, Dan Soder,
Norman's getting a lot of love. Soder just had a special.
I'm not saying they're not getting some. It's just like I feel like they're all underappreciated. You know, like they're guys that are like great joke writers. You know. And it's like hard for them to sell specials now because it's, you know, well, people are like, you're a straight white guy.
Is that real?
I think it is, yeah.
But isn't like, I mean, there are straight white guys. What's that fuck, John Mulaney? He's a straight white guy, allegedly.
Yeah. Pretty sure he is, yeah.
But he has characteristics that make you go,
He does, he looks nice, he's presentable, he has a small dog. You know,
there's a lot going on.
But I'm pretty confident.
Dresses well.
Yeah, yeah.
Stylish. Very good comic, though.
I think he's just nice old-timey. You know?
That's right, it is. They were gay in the old days. Yeah. Like, that's why the Flintstones will have a gay old time. Right?
Oh, now I just want to see a gay Flintstones remake.
Oh, they should do that. Be inclusive. Don't be bigots. Like,
you're gonna remake all these shows. Let's do a gay Flintstones.
Like if you think back, like Fred Astaire and things like that. If
Yeah.
there was a guy like that today, you're like, that poor guy, come out of the closet.
Of course you would.
Yeah,
And you're just
dancing
like
around.
you're just like, no, he's just a straight tap dancer.
No chance. Who the fuck is a straight tap dancer? Sorry, straight tap dancers.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
sure
Savion Glover.
there's got to be straight tap dancers. I mean, they must exist, but white ones, white
No.
straight tap dancers.
I mean, I don't even know if white guys tap dance anymore.
There's a few. There's like 4.
Yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
them?
No, they all live in Pennsylvania.
Hey,
They're all thinking of getting out.
that's where I'm from.
My parents used to live outside of Wilkes-Barre.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
from Hershey.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Boy, it smells out there.
Yeah.
Cows, right?
There's so in town it would either smell like chocolate because of the factory or poop.
Cows or chocolate.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a confusing way to grow up.
Yeah, it really is.
How many people live in Hershey?
I think it's like 30,000 maybe.
You get about 30,000 deer around there too.
Yeah, a lot of
Good-
deer. We
good
have a
place
day
to
off of
drive
school
at
for deer
night.
hunting.
Oh, day off school?
Yeah.
Really?
It was always the
Wow.
Monday after Thanksgiving. That's when deer season started. I've eaten a
Pennsylvania's-
lot of venison.
I bet you have.
Yeah.
You want some? I got some.
I'm good right now.
Okay.
I used to eat venison bologna. Like,
Venison bologna is delicious.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get used to eating wild game and you start preferring it.
Yeah. Well,
I prefer it.
I have a lot of people I know that hunt out there. They're bow and arrow hunters,
Yeah.
which I kind of appreciate that a lot.
That's what I do.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, that's all I do. I haven't hunted with a rifle in years.
Do you have to wait for a long time for things?
It's harder. It's more nerve-wracking. It's more difficult to make a good shot. It requires way more practice. Like if you know how to shoot a gun, like if I had a good rest with a rifle, I shot a rifle a couple months ago, but if I hadn't shot a rifle, like I shot an elk once and I hadn't shot a rifle in a year.
Yeah.
And if you have a rest and the rifle's on the rest and the rest is steady, all it is about trigger discipline. It's just squeeze, 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 boom, let it go off on its own. Just don't jerk the trigger, keep the crosshair on the animal, and it's not that hard.
Right.
But bow hunting is like a lifestyle. It's a
Yeah.
different thing. For the guys who do it, it's like when you eat something, like we ate elk last night at my house. I shot that elk with a bow and arrow in Utah. You know, like I was there. I saw
Yeah.
everything. I cut it up. I
Do you
carried
butcher it
out.
yourself?
I didn't butcher it myself, but we quartered it, which
Yeah.
means you take the legs off and the back straps off, and you take all the big parts of meat, and then I send it to a butcher, and they'll make sausages and cut it into
Yeah.
roasts.
How do you get the elk back to California?
Cooler?
Just like
Freeze it
on
yeah.
the plane?
Yep. Yeah. Yeti coolers. They have these things called a Yeti hopper. So it's like a bag, like a big bag, like about this big, and you can get 2 back straps in there from an elk. Elk back straps, like, elk's a big animal.
Yeah.
It's an 800-pound animal.
I just love the idea that there's all these people on planes with like
Yeah.
they're going to LA with their little dog and they're like and there's just like going on
They
here.
go, oh, you got an elk.
Oh,
You go, yeah,
really?
shot an elk. Yeah. I mean, they know, and like places like Utah, they're used to that.
I mean, this makes me so mad because I had an Alexander McQueen purse. You know the ones, you guys know Alexander McQueen purses, right? You're familiar with the line. They have ones that have like rings that you put your hand through and it's like a bunch of rings attached to the purse. Well, I brought it through security and they were like, no, you have to check this because it looks like
brass
knuckles.
Oh, come on.
And so I had to check my McQueen purse, my little quilted patent leather McQueen purse.
That is so ridiculous.
And you can bring elk.
Well, Tony Hinchcliffe tried to bring a pool stick. We went to here's what's really crazy. We went to Phoenix this past weekend. We were working together, and my friend Scott Frost has a shout out to Scott Frost has a place in Tempe, this big pool hall. Scott's like a big time gambler, pool player, professional pool player, very famous guy in the world of pool. And so we were going to go and play at his place. And so Tony brought his pool cue, and in LA, he didn't even check it. He just walked right through security with a pool cue. Pool cue is totally illegal to bring on a plane. So we're walking around LAX, and I go, hey, man, you have a fucking pool cue with you? He goes, yeah. I go, how did you do that? He goes, I just walked right through. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I just walked through. I go, dude, that's illegal. You can't have that. He goes, I'm pretty sure it's legal now. So on the way back from Phoenix, they were like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to bring the pool cue on the plane. And I was like, no, you're not. Go check that shit. So he had to go back out. We had to hold on to his bags. He went back out and he had to go back to the counter and check it and come back.
Wait, why is it so illegal? Because you could
beat someone to death with it.
Oh, right. I was thinking poke.
I guess you could do that too.
you go up to the you somehow get into the cockpit and you're just like poking the back of their heads. You're like, they annoyed me so much.
He made us fly to Miami. No, it's a hardwood club, basically.
Oh, I'm dumb. That would be a better way to use a weapon.
Haven't you ever watched a Steven Seagal movie?
Oh, right.
He beats people up with pool cues.
Yeah.
Does fucking karate on them and shit.
But there's so much stuff like that. Like,
oh, yeah.
Well, they sell glass bottles inside the terminal, which you could break.
Oh, yeah. And
then have a glass weapon.
Right, but don't they hold those? Like when you have duty free, don't they hold on to that stuff and then you get it later or something?
I think you can buy glass bottles of like sparkling water in throughout the thing. I think you can.
Yeah, you definitely can buy a bottle of water, like a water bottle. But can you buy like a Voss bottle?
I think so.
I've never seen one.
I think they have the little glass sparkling ones. I might be wrong.
We might both be full of shit here.
Yeah. Let's fight it out.
I brought a big fucking knife once on a plane.
Really?
Went right through security at LAX again with a
on
big.
purpose?
No. My friend Jocko gave me this knife. Shout out to Jocko. He gave me this knife and I had it in my fanny pack and it just went right through security. I mean, it's a fucking click, a big hefty knife.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I got back to my place and. You know, it's like I was in my hotel room and then I noticed I had it. I was like, holy shit.
Well, look, I get excited when I can get hair product through.
What's the rule on hair products?
Well, it's supposed to be under whatever 3 ounces, but every once in a while I'll forget or like I'll be like running late and I'll throw in like the full size bottle.
Crazy.
And luckily, a lot of times it'll be like black women. They'll be like, they'll see it and they'll be like, no, if it's fine, go ahead. I'll be like, thank you so much. Oh my God.
Well, they know you're not a fucking terrorist. It's so ridiculous.
And also, it's hard to find, the right hair product in some of the places we go.
They were going to let people bring knives again. They were going to let people bring 4-inch knives and they were going to let people bring pool cues. But then I think something happened and there was another event. Oh, you know what it was? You remember at LAX where that guy shot one of the TSA agents? Like came to LAX with a rifle and shot a TSA agent? That's right when that was going down. Then they locked it down. So if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say they don't want us bringing little knives and pool cues. So they shot that guy. It's a false flag.
That I mean, it's logical though. I can follow the logic.
Yeah. It's just what you can and can't bring is crazy. Like, how come you could bring a skateboard? I could beat someone to death with a skateboard.
Oh yeah, I mean,
better than a pool cue.
Yeah. Also, it's like you couldn't just have a bunch of 3-ounce things that you combine together.
Yeah, make a big bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a bunch of 3-ounce things in an empty tub.
Yeah.
What's the empty tub for? Nothing. Why does it have a fuse?
You don't know this is poison.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Right. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like those little. You could definitely take something, and I probably shouldn't even say this. Yeah, I don't want to give anybody any ideas. Because what if I did say that and then someone did do that? See, there's a lot of people that are really crazy and not that creative.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. They're just like, if only I knew a way to do this. Yeah. It's like, use your brain, buddy.
Like the shoe bomber, that fucking asshole. Now everybody has to take their shoes off.
Yeah.
Nobody took their shoes off before that.
Because he had a bad shoe bomb.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But he was trying to light it in front of everybody. He didn't even do it in the bathroom, the fucking idiot.
Is that what you do? You light bombs?
If I was going to light a bomb, I'd light it in the bathroom.
Yeah. I would.
Just light it, flush it.
And then
start walking like you don't even know what's happening. Like one of the action movies where the bomb goes off behind you.
Yeah.
That's what you do, just walk. Just walk down the aisle.
You're just hoping someone Instagrams it at the right time, too. You're like, we're all going to die, but also, what a good post.
But also, hopefully your phone is really durable.
Yeah.
And it makes the trip. They can extract
it fell
this
from
video.
the sky, and we did get this amazing action photo.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that everybody gets super, super checked flying, but you don't get super, super checked when you go to the mall. You don't get super, super checked. There's all these other places where you don't get super, super checked.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there should just be metal detectors everywhere.
How hard is it to get on a train?
Very easy.
Yeah.
I love
Weapons?
an Amtrak.
Do you take guns?
Well, I don't have any, but
if you had,
could.
you would?
Yeah, you could.
Poison? To bring poison?
Only if I'm trying to kill somebody. But yeah, you can just get on. You get to the train station if you're there like a minute before the train leaves. You can get on the train. Like there's nothing. They don't look for anything.
Yeah, you just hop on.
You hop right on. You ride the rails. You get to look at the beautiful scenery. I love a train.
I do love a train. We took a train in Europe. I was with my family in Italy, and we took a train ride.
They do trains really well.
It was great. It was beautiful. Sit back, watch the countryside, drink a Diet Coke. It was wonderful.
They like in the UK they have like really good service on trains too. If you take one of the Virgin trains or whatever, they come through and they have snacks. They have.
Imagine being like in the old West times when they had those really nice first class trains that were going across the country.
Yeah.
Chugga, 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 chugga. And like everyone's dressed like a gentleman and a lady.
Yeah. And you're just like, everyone looks beautiful. Everything's velvet.
Yeah. Velvet.
Yeah.
Velvet was classic.
They really liked velvet.
Why was that,
then.
you think?
I think it probably just felt soft and maybe it was expensive. And it just showed that you were wealthy. And then all the stains, too.
Do you know that they used to use beaver pelts to like line the inside of their hats?
Really?
Yeah, like that was like a big thing. Like beavers would line the inside of the hats. And there was something about the inside of hats that they used mercury. And the mercury made people go crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like a bad idea.
So that's where the expression Mad Hatter came from. Mad as a Hatter. Yeah. It came from people not knowing that mercury was poison. So they're putting mercury in their fucking hats.
This is how like I'm just like, yeah, 100%.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
I 100% believe you.
It sounds ridiculous. Is that true? I think it's totally true, right? I definitely think someone told me that on this podcast. My hard drive is so overfull. Like I run into people and I go, oh, I know that guy. I'm like, fuck, he was on my podcast a month ago. Of course I know him. Like literally, it's like I'm forgetting everything. I wonder if it's just getting old.
Oh, this is...
What? Something crazy?
Yeah, all right. So this is the explanation I just read on this, corrosiondoctors.org, which I don't know the validity of it, but so it was camel hair that was used as the felt material. In order to soften that up and speed up the softening process, they would use camel urine to process that. So as that became more popular, the French workmen that were doing that would use their own urine to soften it. Some of them were being treated for syphilis with mercury.
Whoa.
That would then bleed into and lead to some problems.
Imagine you get some syphilis piss in the inside of your fancy hat.
Sounds like a lot to get
I mean,
to
this
there,
is
but
what you get for having sex outside of marriage.
That's what I'm saying. Or even inside of marriage. Imagine if you wait all those days and she still gives you the clap. Like, fuck. God damn it.
They might have even used the mercury to process it and skipped all the pee process, but that's the first paragraph says it was urine that did it, and then...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd rather wear my own pee than a camel's pee.
Yeah, or a dude with syphilis.
Yeah.
You ever see the pictures of people when they used to die from syphilis?
No.
It's a rough way to go. You get holes in your head.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, your nose falls off. It's fucking horrific.
Maybe that's what Michael Jackson had.
I don't think so. People develop like big holes in their skin. Like there's this one guy, Lindsay Fitzharris. That's her name, right? She's a woman who's got this amazing Instagram page, and she specializes in ancient medical procedures. And she shows you the horrors of ancient surgery.
Right.
And one of the things she was showing us was photos of people who died from syphilis. Yeah.
That's...
Oh, here's another one.
Old medicine is terrifying.
Oh, terrifying.
Like, I just don't even know who became doctors back then. They were like, I got this crazy idea that'll get rid of your blood, and it's just more like...
They just practice on people. Well, that's where wigs came from. You know, like when you used to see old, like, rich dudes wearing wigs? That was from syphilis. People had syphilis. Here it is. Like,
you mean our founding fathers?
This lady's face is falling off from syphilis.
Oh, jeez.
Shouldn't be a whore.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Look at that one down the middle. Look at that guy in the middle with his nose. That's from syphilis.
And he's still alive?
Yeah.
Or is he dead there?
No, he's dying. I mean, he's not still alive today. But look at him. He looks like, look at his right eye. His right eye still normal, or his left eye still normal. He's probably like, I shouldn't have fucked that whore.
That's one of those things
Shit.
that...
Look at him. He's like, God damn it. Can't believe I got a fucking hole in my head.
He's just like, he just keeps walking around being like, it was worth it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I came so hard. Fuck this face. But the wig thing came from France. It came from, that's why, like, the expression big wig, the more money you had, the bigger the wig you got.
Right.
And it all came from these royal guys. I think they were cousins. Royalty, but they had syphilis. Their fucking hair was falling out, so they had wigs made. And so because these guys were the shit, they're like basically the male Kardashians of the day.
Right.
Everybody started copying them, and people, probably a bunch of other people had syphilis as well. Their hair was falling out, so they all got wigs. So like when you see like a bunch of people in the old days that were in court, and how the judge and everyone would wear powdered wigs, all that started because of syphilis.
You know, that's first of all hilarious to think that everyone was like in court and they're like, so how's your syphilis?
They didn't even know what it was. They barely knew what syphilis
I got
was.
hole in the head.
Yeah, I got
disease.
the nose gone disease. I just lost all my hair, but look at this wig. I'm pimping.
There's also, do you know, you ever watch like British crime dramas?
Yes,
They still wear those wigs
for court.
for court.
Yeah.
I'm basing British crime dramas on what I think they actually still do in Britain.
I wonder if
I feel like they do it on TV. They must still do it
They must.
in court.
I wonder when they stopped doing it over here. When they were like, enough. I wonder who's the last guy who wore a wig. Fuck you, I'm keeping it. Like, who was the last guy who kept the powdered wig over here?
Yeah, like it was definitely a bald guy.
He was a holdout.
He was
look, look at these assholes. Oh my God, that is crazy.
Those are terrible wigs too.
But those are not even kind of wigs. It's like a hat.
It looks like a little carpet.
Probably does. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's head.
It looks like a little floor
Like
mat.
a sheep.
Yeah.
That's like a really well cared for and groomed sheep.
Yeah.
Like when someone loves their sheep and they brush it.
My uncle's a sheep farmer.
For real?
For real.
In Pennsylvania?
In Ohio.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. This is today. They're Tories.
Yeah.
What's a Tory? Is that a lawyer?
It's one of their parties.
Look at those guys wearing those stupid wigs, and everybody else is modern behind them and around.
They're just wearing a wig, but they also pull out their phone.
Yes. They got that stupid old wig on. What's that?
A little white bow tie they have to wear
Oh, a
too.
little white bow tie. What's going on in the back of his head? The guy on the far right? What is that? It looks like a tail. Like he's got a rat tail.
Is that
like
other
something
guy-
Theo Vaughn would have.
Is the guy behind him picking his nose?
I hope so. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You are correct.
That's
Yes, he
why
is.
you don't get a wig, sir.
You dirty fuck. Picking your nose. What happened to the picture?
I accidentally dragged it and it
Oh.
disappeared.
Yeah, so this is fairly recent. I mean, it's modern color photography.
Yeah.
So we're not
I'm
talking
pretty
about.
sure they still do
This is
it.
2019, so
So look at the old picture down there, the painting, the bottom of the screen, right there. Like,
Yeah.
look at that. That's what they used to do. Look at these weirdos.
Kind of looks like my hair.
Ho ho. He's got a syphilis scar on his face. He's got a hole.
Yeah,
You look
great.
into his cheek,
Oh, God.
but he's still probably
Everything
nutting in
sexual
people.
back then had to be terrible.
Oh, disgusting. The smells.
Oh, there's so many smells.
Ugh. But people get horny enough, they don't care about smells. That's why dudes in prison fuck dudes. They get to a point they're like, who cares?
God, I
They just
can't imagine.
Well, it's like we have standards until like you get desperate.
You have standards until you don't have options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a perfect way to phrase it. You nailed it.
Quotes.
You have standards until you don't have options. Yeah, that's true. It's like people get, look at these guys. What the hell? African judges still wear wigs.
I just kept scrolling and they started getting weirder.
What is this? Well, hold on. This might be some social justice warrior stuff. Click on that. Why African judges still wearing wigs is a glaring
colonialism,
symbol of British colonial. Well, of course it is, right?
Yeah, but also if they still want to wear them, let them wear them.
Yeah, they want to look cool.
Zimbabwe.
Stop it, Opinion Brittany or whoever this is.
It's look how they did the top though. They're kind of like fluffed out the top. They made it a little different.
Yeah.
Had their own twist to it.
Yeah, well, you got to put your own style.
But I guess, like, having a judge where, like, today, why do they wear those stupid fucking robes? Those are outdated. We're making fun of wigs, but we're not making fun of these goddamn wizard robes they wear.
Yeah, the robes are weird, too. Like, the Supreme Court, they still wear the robes.
Yeah. What do the women wear? Do they wear that? Look at this guy. Hey, what's up?
That guy looks like...
I don't want it that long. A little tight, a little perm.
I'm pretty sure that's a character from an Eddie Murphy movie.
He's got a nice watch, though. Look, he's got a nice watch, fat ring.
I think they wear... Do they wear the robes so that you can't tell, like...
If they're beating off?
Yeah. You can't tell if they have a boner.
I think they wear the robes to symbolize that there's something special, that they're much more important than you.
I was thinking it was like to hide any sort of affiliation to anything.
That would be the charitable way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I think they wear the robes because they're mystical. Like, they're the ones they have control of the law.
Right. We understand.
Yes.
We
come
rule.
in there, bang, bang, bang. They have a hammer.
I would be a terrible judge because I wouldn't be able to I'd be like, no, I just don't like this guy.
You'd be a comedy judge. There was a bunch of those shows where they were trying to do them with comedians. I actually did a pilot once, way back in the day, where it was like a comedy court. And then
I would love if we had comedy court.
The idea was that you're going to bring people in with like disputes, like, you stole his records, that kind of shit. And then I would have to make a judgment, and the judgment actually would stick. So it's people that had like small claims, they would go there,
right?
And I think Dom Herrera did one too. I think Dom Herrera did a pilot for one of those. There was a few of those floating around for a while.
I think it'd be fun if we had comedy court now, but like in the way where a lot of us comedians got to decide if you get to stay in comedy or not. It's like, no, you've been doing too much social justice stuff. You're barred for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
Get back to writing jokes.
If you criticize someone for something, and then we can pull up you doing that exact same kind of joke, like if you get real social justice-y about a bit, and then we go, oh, look at this. 10 years ago, you fuck.
Yeah.
You did the exact same jokes.
That's what people do on Twitter all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
my
like,
favorite.
It's so great because people are like, yeah, I can't believe you do this. It's so racist. And then, of course, minutes later, it's like, yeah, and so were these times you used the N-word back in 2012.
Well, back in the early days of Twitter, no one totally understood what it was.
Well, for me, I still had a day job, and I used it every day. I just wrote jokes all of the time. Just like constantly, I'd read news stories and I'd practice joke writing. I had 5 followers and I was brand new to stand-up. Like it was nothing. And then it became a place of importance, and I was like, I got to delete everything.
Everything. Once you start getting actual gigs, like, oh no, this could fuck me. And then you got to wonder, like today, people just store and wait. Like they'll store and wait for you to get something. Oh, Comedy Central wants to give you a show. I wonder if they know about this.
Yeah,
Michelle, you fucking piece of shit.
Look what you said. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Well, it's also. Back then, no one understood what it was.
Right.
Like, they didn't understand what they were doing. So it's like you thought you were talking shit to friends.
Right. It's like Ashton Kutcher was like the first guy with Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't think, no one knew. And that was during like the heyday of Punk'd. Like we didn't know this was going to turn into a thing where, it would cause like the Spring Rebellion in Egypt or whatever,
Well, you remember when it would be your at Michelle Wolf is eating pizza? Like you would say that it was the weird way of communicating. You wouldn't say just stuff. You would always say the at thing is doing something.
Right.
It was real weird. Like Jamie Vernon is working right now.
Right.
Like that would be a real tweet.
It was like a status update.
Yes.
Almost.
It was it was weird. And then, somewhere along the line, it was, this guy touched my tit. What? What happened?
Yeah.
And then it became like a reporting. And then it was like news. Like if there was like some breaking, some rebellion in some foreign country, people would be tweeting updates. And you've been paying attention to Hong Kong?
Yes.
Holy shit. The videos from Hong Kong, they have not stopped.
Yeah.
They're still going strong.
The crazy thing is like you heard a little bit about it in America, and then when the NBA stuff happened, they were finally like, then everyone heard about Hong Kong, and you were like, wait, it took basketball to get this to make the news, and even then it was still Sports Center.
Well, it was people didn't want to criticize China. Look at that fucking photo.
But also, I gotta say again, shout out to China. Is as soon as the basketball stuff started happening, the next morning they were painting over murals and taking things down. I was like, these guys do not fuck around.
What was the controversy?
It was it was like a GM or something from the Houston Rockets. He tweeted something in support of the Hong Kong protests. And China immediately was like, nope, no more NBA. We're not putting it on the TV. And the thing is, a lot of NBA players have like huge shoe deals and like other endorsement deals in China. And like they might have an entirely separate shoe deal in China that's making them millions of dollars. And so the players were sort of like, hey, let's backtrack on this a little bit.
They did backtrack, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and
human rights are not that important. What's really important is Nikes.
Listen, I got it. China is at least a little bit upfront that they don't care about human rights.
Sort of, right?
Like here we kind of like gloss over it. We're like, it's like we go like an extra step to pretend that we care about human rights, but we're not the best at it either.
We're not the best. But we might be the best of the big countries.
I don't know.
Who's better? Canada? Maybe, but they're weird. They have human rights
well, they also have stuff like
you're not allowed to. Amendment laws.
Yeah, you're not. You can get in trouble for saying stuff.
Yes. Well, you know that kid Mike Ward. You know who he is?
That comic.
Yeah. Yeah. He just lost his case where he's supposed to pay $35,000 because he made a joke about there was a kid who was sick and everybody donated money. And then, like, a bunch of years later, the kid was still alive, and he made a joke like, can I get my fucking money back? How's that kid still alive? See?
It's a pretty good joke.
It was a pretty good joke. I mean, obviously, he didn't really mean it. It's not a statement. He's not saying this like...
Right.
He's being funny. He's being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And they fucking sued him, and they won. And so this has been going on forever. Mike was on my podcast 2 years ago, 3 years. How many years ago, Jamie? I don't think it was at this spot. Was it? I think it was the old spot.
It was a year ago.
It was a year ago? Okay, so it was at this spot. And it was still going on. And he just recently lost. So it started, I believe, 2 years before that. Mm-hmm. So it's been going on for several years.
You and Ari actually talked about it in 2016 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was one year at Montreal that people were talking about.
Yes. It was a big deal. I mean, Canada's weird. There was another comic who got heckled by this. They were in, I think this was in Vancouver, and they were at a Yuck Yucks, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm making this up. I don't remember where it was. But someone was on stage, and this lesbian couple was heckling. Mm-hmm. And they were heckling a bunch of comedians. He got up and called them a bunch of dykes and said some crazy shit to them. And they fucking...
I was like, heckles out of context are so funny. When you're like, it was lesbian, called him a bunch of dykes. You're like...
Well, you know, people get drunk and they yell stuff out at comedy clubs, and it was disruptive. And so that comic wound up having to pay money too. That comic got sued. I think he lost... I want to say it was a lot of money. I want to say it was like $100,000 or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's also like... I don't know. I don't like any time a comic is taken seriously.
Yeah. Well, in that time, see, the thing is, heckles, it's like, is this comedy anymore? Like, what's going on here? Is there someone's yelling at you while you're on stage? They're disrupting your work.
Right.
And then your job is to make fun of them. But if you just decide, listen, you fucking fat slob.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he called me fat. Like, is that funny?
Also, are you fat?
Are you fat? Yeah. Are you a big old bulldog?
Did you hear about Elon's case that he won? This is kind of on the same topic because
the pedo guy.
It was basically they were arguing that was a joke.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not serious.
You know why Elon won? Because he's got $28 billion. That's why he won. And because wherever that dude was in Thailand, they want some dope cars.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll make you a deal.
He's like, I'll give you those trucks.
Totally cool.
I promise their windows don't break.
Have you ever seen Kyle Dunnigan's face? Do you know Kyle Dunnigan's face swap videos with Elon?
Yeah.
Holy shit, they're good.
I love everything Kyle does.
He's the best.
He's so funny.
The best Instagram page by far.
One of my favorites is when he does the "What's up, chicken butt" to his mom.
How about Caddy Daddy?
Caddy Daddy
with Annie Letterman.
So
Holy
funny.
shit, is it funny? Annie plays his daughter, and he plays this like weirdly effeminate, probably gay dad who's just
but he
like really
talks
gossipy.
about having sex with women. You know, like it's just like.
But he's like always gossipy about like celebrities and stuff. Like, oh my god, it's so funny.
It's so perfect.
But it's Caitlyn Jenner's the best.
Yeah.
It's Caitlyn Jenner's that's the coup de grace.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, Comedy Central, this is how fucking goofy they are over there. They were going to give him a show, you know, like a face swap show. He was going to do a face swap show. It would have been the best fucking show on their network.
Yes.
But they were so bad in terms of like cutting controversial stuff out. He had Caitlyn Jenner fucking Donald Trump. Like she was riding Donald Trump, you know, because he does a great Donald Trump too.
Yeah.
And he showed it to me. I was in tears.
Yeah.
In tears. He goes, they cut this. I go, what? He goes, they said no to this. I go, no. He goes, yes. I
What
go,
was their
no.
reason behind it?
Too controversial. You can't make fun of trans people.
But you're not making fun.
You're making fun of trans people.
Trans people are allowed to have sex with the president too.
No. You're mocking trans. You're mocking people.
I think you're lifting up trans people.
Yeah, because she's on top. She was fucking
She's
the
on
shit out of
top.
Trump.
She's fucking Trump. I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty good look for a trans person. You know, like
It's not
let
the
them-
worst look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
I mean, and I think she was a Republican.
Yeah, Caitlin's a Republican.
Yeah. My favorite part was when, you know, there was the whole thing I was, you know, when all this was going on and she was winning Woman of the Year, I go, do you understand that she's against gay marriage?
Yeah.
And gay friends of mine were like, what? I go, do you understand this?
Yeah.
Do you understand this? I want you to stop and pause before you decide this is a hero.
Yeah.
I want you to look into this. This is a moron. You have a moron who just happens to be transgender. And just because she's a famous moron does not mean she's anything other than a moron.
Yeah. She's still not good.
No, this was her response. Why are you against gay marriage? Well, I guess I'm just kind of a traditional girl. She really said that. Traditional girl?
This is where I wish we could get to with some of this stuff, is that you can be like, yes, I appreciate and respect everything about you being able to be trans.
Yes.
I do not like you. You're still, it's not because you're trans. It has nothing to do with you being trans. I don't like you as a person. I think you're a bad person.
I don't know if she's a bad person. I just think she's kind of a dummy.
Well, but that's where I wish we could get to,
Right,
where it's like, no.
But you can kind of get to
this
that.
This isn't about being anything, whatever the hot button issue that you are. It's like, no, you're just still a shitty person.
Well, this is where the loophole has gone into women in sports. Right?
Yeah.
That's where it's gone in. And
This drives me crazy.
It should drive you crazy. It drives me crazy too.
Yeah.
Biological women are getting fucked.
Yes.
They're getting fucked over. And they're not getting fucked like Trump with Caitlyn on top. They're getting fucked the worst way. And they're finally starting to step back. The Olympic weightlifting, the people who do powerlifting tournaments, they stopped it. They won't let transgender women enter in and pretend to be a biological woman anymore. Well,
and there's one thing that like women have to, in order to like fight this correctly, women have to admit that men are physically stronger than us. And they 100% are. Men are stronger than women.
But that's a crazy thing to say. That's like admitting that women can have babies and men can't. It's like these are biological facts.
Of course. But there's a thing, like, I mean, I've gotten into fights with people about Serena Williams, and they're saying, like, well, she could beat any man. And I'm like, she literally can't.
She can't.
The last time I'm not saying she's not great, but
She's
the last
amazing.
time she played against a man, he was like some guy who drinks and like, he was like Rake's 600th, was like drinking, whatever.
He stomped her.
And she still lost.
Yeah.
And this was back a couple years ago when she was like really at her peak.
Yeah. It's not fair. It's
like
not.
I say this all the time. It's like, I love track, right? But in high jump, the best woman in the world right now is jumping about 6 feet 7 inches. The best man in the world is jumping 7 feet 11 inches.
That's close.
Yeah, it's
close enough. Let her in. Put a skirt
it's also
on her.
like, you know who else was jumping 6'7"? My friend Graham when we were in high school. He's an architect
Really?
now. Yeah.
Really? He jumped 6'7"?
He jumped 6'7". I mean, he was a good high jumper, you know, like he went to a D1 school for it, but like he
would have been a world record holder if he was a woman.
World record holder.
Well, that's happening now. You're getting world record holders now in weightlifting in particular.
Yeah.
Where they're trans women.
Yeah. It's not fair.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It was in fighting for a while. There was a girl who was a man for 32 years, became a woman for 2, and then started fighting women without telling them. that she used to be a woman. Yeah. And so I came out against it, and all these people were fucking mad at me. I mean, dozens of articles written about what a piece of shit I was. And I was like, whoa. Because I didn't understand how far this whole PC progressive culture had gotten in terms of like completely off the rails and not looking at things accurately. I was like, come on, you got to be objective. I'm not saying people can't be trans, but what I'm saying is you can't not tell someone that by the way, I'm 100% for a woman fighting a man if she wants to.
Right.
If they weigh the same and she decides, I don't think it's smart.
Right.
I think it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But some women can. There's a woman who's fighting for the title this weekend, Jermaine Durandamy. She's a, see if you can find the video of Jermaine Durandamy fucking this dude up. She's a beast, but she's a multiple-time world kickboxing champion, Muay Thai champion. She's a fucking savage. And she's fighting for the bantamweight title this weekend in Vegas. This is her. This is her fucking up a dude. See, now she just calculatedly decided that she was a better fighter than this guy and knew that, look at this, fucking this dude up. But he's trying. He still clubbed her in the back of the head there.
Yeah.
Dangerous. Fucking dangerous. See, he's getting in trouble for clubbing her in the back of the head. But she had a boxing match with this guy and fucking flattened him.
How is that guy ranked? Anything?
I don't know. I don't know the specifics behind it, but it's super risky for a woman to fight a man.
Yes.
But she wanted the challenge, and I completely support it. See, go to where she flattens him. See, like this dude is swing. It's fucking dangerous, but she's a super high level fighter.
Right.
Boom! Right there, son. Out go the lights. You just got flatlined by a woman, kid. Watch that again. Back that up again. But you're talking about a guy who's just a schmo. I mean, not a bad fighter. Knows how to punch,
right.
But that's a world champion. So if someone wants it, like Jermaine Durandamy wants to do that, I wouldn't say she couldn't do it. You do whatever you want. But the idea that you can not tell someone that
right.
you were a man for 30 years.
Yeah.
I got into a conversation with this on Twitter back when I used to get in conversations with people.
Right.
And
best time of your life.
This lady actually said this to me. She goes, she's always been a woman. And I go, even when she fathered a child? Mm-hmm. And she goes, even then. I go, we're done. We're done. We're in crazy town. Now you're just making things up.
Mentally, yes. Maybe she was always a woman mentally, but physically, you weren't. So it's the same thing. Like,
what does that mean mentally? What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess
you wish
you felt inside that you were always supposed to be a woman.
But here's the thing: she's a lesbian. I'm
probably saying the wrong words anyway.
But now she's a lesbian, so she's into women.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a complicated and the thing is, this is what bothers me is that you can't even question or have any discussions around it.
Exactly.
Where it's just like, no, I want to know and I want to be better, but I need help understanding.
Even the language you use, I want to be better.
Yeah, I want to be better.
Be better.
Like, yeah.
Be better, Michelle.
Be best. But yeah, I mean, like, I want people to live whatever way they want to live.
Yeah.
But help me a little bit here. Like, I don't know. And I don't even know how to look it up online.
You can't.
You can't.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
If they find out what you're searching, they'll come for you. They'll come for you and they'll take away your woke pass.
Yeah. Now you can't have another special because you Googled, are you allowed to be a lesbian?
Well, people literally have gotten massive blowback on their careers because of that.
Yeah.
You know, because of questioning whether or not trans people can fight. I mean, Ronda Rousey got a ton of shit where she was saying she didn't think trans women should be able to fight regular women in MMA. Or biological women, whatever you want to call it. If you even say regular woman, you're like, you piece of shit.
Of course.
She is a regular woman. Everybody's so angry. And it's such a mob thing, too. It's funny because these are the people that don't want bullies. It's like the same people, progressive people, are the ones who are like anti-bullying.
Oh, they bully just as much.
More.
Yeah.
They bully each other. You can't be woke enough.
You can't.
Because they're just feeding off of each other. Like, I used to have piranhas, okay? And one of the things that happens with piranhas is when one of them gets sick, the other ones fuck them up. They cannibalize each other all the time. It was weird.
What an animal.
Like, oh, they're so crazy. Like, one of them, you'd see one of them have like a slight little wiggle to them wrong, and they'd be like, look at Mike.
And they just eat them?
Yeah, they eat them. Fuck them up. I'd come home and half a piranha would be at the bottom of the tank. I'd be like, oh, you fucking creeps.
Jesus.
So I'd have to scoop it out.
I had a hamster that ate the other hamster once.
Oh, I had that happen when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
They had like wet tail is like a disease.
I don't know, but
it's
a weird thing to walk home to when you're 5.
Yeah. Her name was Fluffy, and she was eating her babies. She was eating her baby. We came home. She was like a bloody fucking baby. She's holding on to the baby's head and just chewing up. Like, what in the fuck kind of pet is this? And there was no
that was
warning.
it for me for hamsters.
There was no Google back then. So I was like, what is happening here?
I guess I got to go to the library and look this up in the encyclopedia to see if it's a thing.
Why is my hamster eating its baby's head like it's a fucking ripe tomato? Oh, it was so disgusting. It was so disgusting. It was burned into my head. I was like 7 years old. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But how did we get to that? How did we get
we
to
were talking
hamsters?
about woke people and
piranhas.
Piranhas, yeah.
Like that's what they're like. Like when one steps out of line, even when woke people, they don't say, "Hey, Sheila's a good person. She just misspoke," and and Sheila's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't really mean it that way. It came out wrong." And everybody's like, "That's cool. This is what's important. Kindness. That's what's important." No, it's like fuck Sheila and fuck white people and fuck the patriarchy and fuck like whoa.
It goes from we support you to burn it to the ground.
Burn it to the ground. Yeah.
Burn it. She can have nothing anymore.
Yeah. And everyone's trying to stand out as being like ultra progressive and hardcore with it. So everyone's like making these hard stances on Twitter where it's like, this is so aggressive.
I think though that my theory behind it is that we've always liked as a human, we've always liked to watch people die. Whether it's figuratively or literally, because like we used to do Gladiator, like when people got beheaded or like burned at the stake, that was like a thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone came to that from the town. And they were all just like, yeah, because in that moment, your life isn't as bad as the person who's getting burned.
Right.
And I think that's what people just want to feel powerful.
100%.
They're online and they're like, oh, I can take down this person. And it's like, did you really do anything today? Did you really just destroy someone's life who was trying to be a good person?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I don't know, go after companies using plastic or something like that, like.
Yeah, you're right. There is a thing to that, right? When anyone steps out of line publicly and then people start attacking them, this is not like a personal issue to them.
Right.
It's not like this person that did this thing, it's like really affects your life.
Right.
But the amount of energy that people put into it and the amount of time, like when people want to go dig up those old tweets and want to find out things that you said or, and this, it is similar to that feeling of watching a public execution.
Right.
Like, hang him. And
everyone's so excited for it to happen. Like they pile on. Yeah. They'll go on your Instagram, leave tons and tons of like terrible comments or
you're getting canceled.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, good. Did you really feel does that make your day better?
What are you making a face for, Jamie? What's going on?
I just found something dark. As you guys were talking about this.
About hamsters eating their
The
kids?
last public hanging, there was like a huge media event. Like 20,000 people traveled to Kentucky to watch it happen. There's
to see a white woman hang a black man.
She was the local sheriff, and she didn't go through with it because of probably the attention. So some eager volunteers did it. And while this was all going on, there was like a media circus. People were eating hot dogs, drinking lemonade, camping out overnight.
Oh, my God.
It was a huge event, and it was 1936.
Oh, boy.
What did they say he did?
That's what I was looking for before.
It said up there, you scroll up, it said he was wanted for the rape of a 70-year-old woman. That was the woman. Go scroll up, a little higher, a little higher.
I think he was popping. There it is, okay.
Yeah, see, Bethesda had confessed to the rape and murder of a 70-year-old Lishy Edwards, a capital crime under Kentucky law, and one that fell upon the local sheriff to punish. I could appoint the deputy sheriff to deputize any citizen to spring the trap, Thompson told reporters as she stoically resigned herself to the role. But to do that would inflict an unpleasant job upon someone else. So she decided this disgusting job, she was going to do it, and then decided not to.
Yeah, and she did.
Oh, the first female executioner.
Wow.
And then she couldn't do it. Not a good look for women.
The problem with those, anything post-slavery, post-1865, there were so many crimes that people were arrested for that were nothing, where men were being forced to do labor. So what would happen was, because of the fact that slavery was now abolished, these men would be loitering, right? People didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, imagine you're a slave your whole life. You grew up a slave, and then all of a sudden you're free. Like, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What do I do? Well, they would just arrest you, and then make you do hard labor in jail for nothing.
Yeah, they essentially figured out how to make slavery legal again.
And they did it for decades.
Yeah. They still sort of do it today.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when you make a guy work in jail for $1 a day, whatever the fuck they pay, how is that not slavery?
Yeah.
Are you giving him gruel? What are you giving him? White bread and fucking shitty meatloaf? What are you feeding him?
It's one of those things where I'm like, we get so mad at like so a lot of the current stuff that's happening with like what we're supposed to be saying, you know, like the right pronouns to use, all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll try to say the right pronouns. That's a pretty easy fix. How about we go back and like kind of correct some of this 400 years of slavery and oppression that we did for black people? Oh, is it because it's harder to do?
Yeah,
like, it's not a solvable problem.
They, them is easy.
Yeah.
Captain Pink Hair.
Yeah.
I think the real problem is these communities, like, they've never recovered. Like places like Baltimore, there's certain communities that have been the same forever. And Southside Chicago is another one, right? There's these communities that they're fucked with, riddled with crime and drugs, and so many people in and out of jail, and this constant recidivism rate.
Yeah.
You grow up there, you're in that system. Like, they would have to.
You're maybe in a terrible public school.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
You have to work
gangs
as early
everywhere,
as you can.
Drugs. I mean, the people that are heroes in your neighborhood are drug dealers. So how do you fix that? Boy. There's no effort put to that in terms of like a systematic national effort on the federal level to step in and do something to these communities, and do it on a scale that we do in other countries when we bomb the fuck out of them.
Right. And also just admit that we're racist. Like, when after apartheid happened, they had like a day, there was a couple days of reckoning or whatever it was called, where everyone went up and they were like, these are the things I did.
Really?
Yeah. These are the things I did. These are like the laws I broke. And it was like this like terrible, like cathartic, admit to your racism. And then let's try to heal after that. And then we're all just like, no, we're not racist. And I'm like, we're pretty racist.
Well, some people are racist, but what's racist is that these communities suffered under a system that was completely imposed because of racism.
Right.
In the 1800s, and then in the early 1900s, and during the civil rights era. This is all, I mean, that there's no denying that it's the echoes of at least ancient racism that needs to be somehow or another addressed. But I mean, how do you address that? Like, some people want reparations, and like the idea of it makes sense, right? Clearly, someone profited, right? There are to this day, there's corporations, you can trace their money back to slavery.
Right.
Right? Well, it seems like they should pay something.
Yeah, they should pay a little bit.
How did you guys get rich? Like, if you look at a giant plantation, and they used to have slaves, and they profited off those slaves, and that plantation is somehow or another still in operation today.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case, but if it was, like, where'd you get your money?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Like,
and then how do you go about giving it back to people?
How do you give it back? Who do you give it back to?
Yeah.
Do you give it back to the ancestors of the people who were slaves? And the problem is, like, if you give people money, I don't think it fixes the problem. I think to fix the problem, there has to be some sort of, I mean, we've beaten this horse to death on the show, unfortunately. And I don't have any solutions. No one ever has one. I don't know what it would be, but I think there has to be some way to clean up communities, and I don't know how you would do that. I mean, I have no idea. How do you go to a place like Southside Chicago has more murders than Afghanistan? I mean, it's bad there. It's fucking bad. Am I making that up? I'm not making that up. I don't think so.
I think you're right. But that's the thing. It's like, this is such like an unsolvable problem, and the stuff that people go after on Twitter, like the social justice stuff, is so easy to do. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, of course that's what you're going to like. You can have a hard day, whatever shitty job you have, and then you come home, you see someone got mad at something or did something wrong, and you get to be like, yeah, this person, you're canceled.
Yeah.
And then you close your computer or whatever, or you watch people retweet it, and you're like, I did do something today.
I'm an activist.
Yeah, I'm an
online activist.
Yeah.
Yes, activist.
And I have
educator.
power.
I'm an educator.
I contributed.
Yes, contributing. Yeah. It's a weird tool. You know, I mean, it's a great tool sometimes. Like Twitter is great for just getting out information, letting people know about something. You know, you find something. What I use it mostly, I find cool stories. Like if I read some cool article, like I was reading some article about China has made pig monkey hybrids.
God, China.
Yeah, and they've successfully made these pig monkey hybrids, and you know,
what do they look like?
They didn't show. They showed a picture of a pig fetus. I'm pretty sure it was just a regular pig fetus, but they didn't stay alive very long. The idea is they want to get to a point. Was it pig human or pig monkey? I think it was pig monkey. Pig monkey.
You tweeted was pig monkey,
but they do
a pig monkey.
That's what we've heard about. Yeah,
Alex Jones says they're doing pig humans. Yeah. I bet he's right. I guarantee he's right.
They do pig monkey, and then just like a little baby boy is born. Yeah. You're like,
well, you little pig.
Is that what we are? Are we pig monkeys?
But I think what they're trying to do is develop pigs. Their hearts and a lot of their organs are very similar to ours, and their digestive tract is very similar to ours. Like there's certain tests they do on how things are digested, and they do them through pig stomachs because
they do a lot of transplants with pigs now too.
Yes, so I think that's the idea is eventually get to a point where you can get harvestable organs from pigs. You know, so they'd have some sort of a pig human hybrid. But you know someone's going to fuck one. Someone's going to bring it home. And I mean, you got some pig lady walking around your house. Miss Piggy cooking like, bacon for you.
It's got like a human vagina.
Yeah.
So is it? You know?
Right. A good one, too. Real tight like a drum.
Tight like a drum.
Tight like a giant. Always wet.
Wait, where does that saying come from?
Like a drum. Like a drum's pulled tight.
Oh, pulled tight. Okay, sorry. Sometimes I'm the dumbest person in the world.
But it's true. It's the wrong kind of tight.
I'm looking. I was like, but drums have like a pretty big hole in the back.
Yeah. Ridiculous. No, you're 100% right. Tight like a drum is a dumb way to describe a vagina for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it... But I guess
Unless there's like a weird covering over a vagina.
Tight like a fist, like a mason's fist, like a stone mason, someone who carries bricks every day and has fat, strong hands.
Tight
like that kind of like a fucking
tight like a butthole.
Like a butthole. Like a strong butthole of someone who squats a lot. Yeah. Yeah. But if you can get a pig with a human vagina, well, that's like people fuck sheep, right? Isn't that the whole deal with sheep?
Yeah, New Zealand,
it's supposed to be like real close?
That's what they say.
Probably in Pennsylvania too.
I mean, I'm sure in Pennsylvania, there's.
It's not get carried away. When people get, you know, again, what you said, no options, no standards. Yeah.
No standards.
If you found out that no one was looking, I mean, they don't fuck sheep because it's gross. They fuck sheep because the sheep's that high and they're right there.
Yeah.
And they look around.
What about that poor guy who's the exact right height for a sheep?
Yeah, perfect.
And he's just like, oh, I don't even have to bend my knees at all.
What if the sheep's backing up into you too? The sheep likes it. Like, who's the victim?
Yeah. Maybe the sheep was like, maybe the sheep keeps like.
Yeah, sheep likes it. Keeps nuzzling up against him like a Lizzo dance. Like,
yeah. I would love if that's that guy's defense in court. He's just like, no, but you got to look at this video. Yeah. You can't tell me the sheep's not into this.
Here's a video of me entering into the pen. Now look, they're all back towards me, backwards.
Yeah.
They all just go right to
One of them
dick.
is buying, I'm pretty sure, juice.
It's a ridiculous thing that people fuck animals. But animals fuck people too.
Yeah.
You know, you ever see dolphins? Dolphins get a hold of people?
I've seen a video of that. There's one of the dolphin like came up on a woman.
Just start trying to fuck her.
There was an article. It's the best trolling that has ever been done to me. There was an article that said I was guilty of bestiality.
Oh.
It said Wolf guilty of bestiality, and it was from my hometown newspaper, the Homelstown Sun. And which is a very small newspaper. There's like 3 or 4 people that work there, I think. But like it said that I was guilty of bestiality, and they did so much research. Like they got like the paper, the right paper. They got like all this information about me. And then the surprising thing was at the end of the article, it said I pled guilty, and the fine was $1,500. And I was like, and it was about fucking dogs, that I was fucking dogs. And I was like, well, if that was what I was into, $1,500, like, that's kind of worth it, you know?
Depends
like,
how much money you have and how big the dog's dick is.
Yeah. And I was also like, how is the dog is the dog fucking me?
Right.
Is it like a peanut butter situation? Like,
but there's videos like that existed before the internet. There was a video, like, I think it was called Barnyard Betty. As me and my friend Billy and my friend Ron, we went over their house, and it was in the basement. I remember one of us had to guard the door in case someone came into the basement. It was an old VHS tape, so they put the VHS tape on, and one of us had to stand by the doorway to the basement, like just to make sure that nobody opened the door and busted us. And we watched this fucked up video of these trailer trash looking meth girls that were blowing donkeys and having sex with dogs.
God.
One of them had sex with a German Shepherd. It was so gross.
there was an episode of Nip Tuck where that happened. Like
Tuck,
there was,
I remember that show.
There was a woman. She put like peanut butter on her vagina, and their dog would like lick it off.
Oh, that's real. That happens all the time.
Yeah, and I was like, this is. I remember I was kind of younger, and I was like, that's a weird thing to put in TV.
What if a dog bites?
Yeah,
Lick,
I don't.
lick, chomp.
Yeah, I don't
Starts
know.
getting greedy.
It seems like a dangerous situation.
Yeah, if you had too many dogs, like you said, like, oh, one's not enough. I want one to lick my butthole too.
Oh
So you got a
God,
little peanut butter down there, peanut butter on the vajayjay.
this is so gross.
Whatever happened to that Nip Tuck show?
I don't know. I think it went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of those shows. It started out real good, and then
Yeah.
after a while, you're like, wait, what? What the fuck's happening here?
Yeah, too
Like
many.
Dexter.
Like yeah.
Dexter went way off the rails. Like, it started out like, whoa, this is kind of cool show, cool idea. A guy who's like a good guy serial killer, huh?
Yeah.
And then like 4 seasons in, you're like, hey, what do you do? Who wrote this one?
That happened with I loved the show Scandal.
I never saw
and
that.
It was. I mean, it's just a. I mean, it's not actually a great show, but I really did like it. And the first couple seasons, I was like, this is great, this is great. Season 3 and 4, I was like, this is crazy. And then like the end of it, I was like, okay, they brought it back around. But
Well, the term "jump the shark" came from Fonzie
Right.
jumping over a tank full of sharks.
yeah,
Like, literally, like, people were like, get the fuck out of here. What is this? What are you doing? Have you ever met Henry Winkler?
I did actually.
He might be the nicest guy alive.
He's so nice. I saw him at the Emmys last year, and he introduced himself to me, which I was like, this is the craziest thing. I can't believe you know who I am.
Ah, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Someone famous knows you.
And I was like, this is like, I mean, it's Henry Winkler.
Henry fucking Winkler. Could not be further from the Fonz character.
Yeah.
Like, super sweet, really nice
nice.
guy. He
Yeah.
wrote a book called I've Never Met an Idiot on the River. It's about fly fishing.
Yeah.
He loves fly fishing,
Yeah.
apparently. And he just wrote a book about, like, fly fishing.
There's a lot of people who really like fly fishing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird. There he is. The Fonz! Oh, he jet skied over the shark?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was a
I typed it in,
motorcycle?
this is what he's popping up. He was skiing in a lake or something.
Look at that. Oh!
Of course he has his jacket on.
Oh, the Fonz! Got a leather jacket.
I think
on.
I think it's more unbelievable that he'd wear a leather jacket water skiing than jump over a bunch of sharks.
Well, how about he's got it in between his legs? Look how he's doing that. Go back to that original picture.
He's holding it, stay like balance.
Wait,
No,
did
go back to
Henry
the original
Winkler
picture.
actually
Right there,
learn
right
how
there.
to?
That one you just had.
It's right here too.
Yeah, but that's black and white. That's too
can't.
artsy. Right there. Look at he's got it in between his legs. That's the pole.
Wait, that looks like he's really doing that too.
I bet he is.
Wow,
You
good
could do
stunt
that.
work, Henry.
Hey! I mean, they didn't have CGI back then. He kind of had to do it
Right? Yeah.
up until the point where it actually like flew through the air, and then they got some rugged Brad Pitt from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood type dude.
I don't know where they're actually.
Look at that. Is that the shark?
No. It's jumped. That moment has now jumped the shark as memes and stuff.
Yeah.
So many like jokes about it.
But it's crazy that it was such a bad episode that it became like
What we
symbolic
say.
of a show going off the rails.
Yeah.
Show Jump the Shark.
I like a good 2-season show.
Mm.
Like I love a mini series. I love things that end.
Do you watch Maisel?
No, I watched
good.
a little bit of it.
You didn't like
Okay,
it?
here's my problem with it. I don't think the jokes are funny.
Well, it's contextual. Right?
Yeah, I get that, but it's like I don't know. I just have a hard time. I don't.
Listen, I've been watching a lot of Lenny Bruce over the last few months. I found this one Lenny Bruce channel on YouTube. It's got all of his old clips from various television performances, and they don't make me laugh. You know, I know he's the best. I mean,
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say he's the best, but he's the godfather of this thing that we do, that you and I both do.
Right.
He's the guy that started it. He really is the guy who started talking about shit instead of just telling jokes. He started like talking about social problems and why is this and relationships and sadness and all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, he developed a whole different kind of style of stand-up comedy, but it's not funny. Because you're looking at something that happened in 1950 and 1960. It's so hard for it to translate.
Yeah.
So, comedy, unlike anything else, loses its its power over time. Like if you can listen to like even like Red Fox or something like really great old stand-up, it's just not that good.
I don't know though. I do think there are some jokes that stand up.
Sure.
I think there's some people that do it that like even 50 years from now, people will look back and be like, that joke's still funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had some of those. Lenny Bruce had one joke that many comics have accidentally told since then because they didn't know any better. But it was about gay people, that being gay is against the law. It's like, gay, it's against the law, dig? So they put you in jail with a bunch of guys who want to have sex with you.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it murdered. I mean, back then it was just a fucking nuclear bomb. They're like, oh shit, that's so true.
I can't imagine being in the audience and hearing someone talk like that for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because like the best comedy, I think, is things you didn't, like, as soon as someone says it, you're like, I have always thought that.
Yes.
You know, they're just like vocalizing something you were never able to kind of put together.
Yes.
And that had to be that.
Yeah.
In that audience. Them being like, yeah.
Well, people were so suppressed then. I mean, that's the other thing about Lenny Bruce. He went to jail multiple times. I mean, he was arrested multiple times for telling jokes.
Yeah.
Just kept doing it. Didn't give up. Didn't say, well, this is obviously not smart.
Right.
He kept doing it. He kept pushing the envelope. George Carlin, same thing. He went to jail for it too.
That's real stand-ups, though. You know, like, real stand-ups are ones that are just like, no, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do it for like a week and you're just like crawling out of your skin.
Also, the audience is ultimately supposed to be the judge of whether or not something's good. And if that's not the case, then we're losing personal freedom. We're not asking someone to like, like someone's not going on stage and saying, I'm going to advocate that you murder someone. Here's their address. We're all going to do it together. Let's meet up. We're not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about someone cracking a joke and the audience laughs and they enjoy it. And today, even today, when people get upset about someone's stand-up set and they try to cancel something and listen to the audience.
Right.
Was the audience laughing? Well, they know it's a joke, right? They're at a comedy show, so they know it's a joke and they were laughing. Why do you have a problem with it? You're not even there. So you're just looking for problems? Look at women in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
You want to look at real problems? Look at real problems. Why don't you speak out against that, you fucking cowards?
Yeah, again, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's easy. Like, I hate anytime, like, I'm in favor of a comic telling whatever joke they want. And then, like, the only way you're going to know it's funny is if you say it out loud to an audience.
Yes.
And it might not be funny the first 1,000 times you say it until you figure it out.
Well, that was my giant issue with comics that were going after Louis after that set was leaked.
The only thing people should have been mad about that is that the set was leaked.
Yeah.
That should have been like, you don't know where he's going to end up with that.
No.
He's known for doing huge premises that you disagree with, and then he convinces you why he's right in a very funny way.
And tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, it's not like he really thinks that someone pushed a fat kid in front of a bullet and that's why they're talking in front of CNN. He'll figure out a way to make that work. This is his first time doing stand-up in 10 months.
Yeah. Like, let's see where the joke goes.
But you know that, and I know that, because that's what we do. But there's a lot of people that don't even understand the mechanics of creating a joke. That, like, a lot of times you'll go up and you'll have a premise and you're like, God, I fucking know there's something. And you might eat shit with that joke for a couple of months before it really starts catching. Years maybe even. Yeah.
You know, like there's always jokes I've had that like now I'm coming back to because I was like I wasn't ready to tell it then. And now I'm getting back to it and I'm like, okay, maybe this direction.
Yes.
But like it's especially the harder the premise, like it's gonna take a while. People have no idea how hard it is to write jokes.
Well, that's Ari's entire new hour that he's doing. You know, his whole new hour is called Jew, and it's all, you know, he grew up Orthodox Jewish, like he had to go to Israel and take religious classes all day, studying the Talmud fucking 10, 12 hours a day. Like he was doing the whole deal. And his whole hour now is about this. And we had talked about him doing bits about that years and years ago. But he's like, I wasn't ready. Because my stand-up wasn't good enough yet. I didn't understand how to craft a joke yet.
Yeah. And it takes a while to get there. And especially stuff that's personal like that to you. And like, you want to do it justice. You only get to tell that story once on stage.
Right.
And then once you do those jokes, hopefully they were good enough because you're really not going to get to revisit them.
Yeah, for you to go back over your, like, hey, I put an album out 10 years ago and it kind of sucks, so I'm going to redo all those bits.
Yeah.
Please don't go back and listen to the roots until after you see the second version. Yeah. No. There's some premises I would like to go back and redo. Like, oof, God, that one. I could have done so much more with that.
I feel like sometimes you can, like, you know, you can show kind of your evolution by redoing some stuff a little bit, but you can't, I don't know.
Yeah, you can show your evolution. You can do whatever you want. Look, Jerry Seinfeld still does old jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're perfectly good jokes. Why would I throw them away? I mean, he's done that a couple times for specials, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he do the Netflix special and an HBO special? Where I'm telling you for the last time, I think that was HBO. Right? That was all his old stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think he did a Netflix special that was very similar.
It was like he went through his old notes and like,
yeah. And I think now, I think they made a multiple special deal with him or something like that. And now he's putting together his new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I want to see him work out.
I want to see it work out.
There was a rumor that he was going to be at the store, and we were all freaking out. We were ready to go down. It was a Sunday night. It turned out to be Damon Wayans. But there was a rumor that a legend...
Still funny.
Still fucking awesome. Damon is another one. He, to me, is like one of the most unheralded of the great comics from the 90s.
Yeah.
But he was actually really funny, too. I saw him recently at the Lab in the Improv. So he hasn't done stand-up or anything in a long time. And so he's starting to go and do it again. And then there was this rumor that some star who hasn't done stand-up in a long time was going to do stand-up at the store in the belly room. And everybody's texting everybody, is fucking Eddie Murphy going to the goddamn Comedy Store? Is that really happening?
Right.
And we were all going to go down there and watch, but it turned out to be Damon.
I'd love to see Eddie working it out.
Yeah, I want to see him first time on stage.
Yeah. I want to see middle. I want to see like
the middle.
Yeah,
like
I want to see like a couple of times.
I want to see the first words out of his
2
mouth.
months in, and then like 6 months in, or however.
Do you think he's going to do it?
I hope so. I really want to. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, we know what his early stuff is. Yeah. He had this whole life. Yeah. And I mean, I think part of it is he sees Dave just like destroying, and I hope there's like a little competitiveness in him where he's like, I got to jump back in.
Yeah. He still looks great.
Yeah.
He looks so healthy. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but God damn it. That black don't crack shit is not a lie.
I mean, he looks amazing.
Like he's got to be close to 60, right? And he looks 30.
Yeah.
He really does. How old is he? 58. Okay. Pull up a recent picture of Eddie Murphy. Pull, like, when you saw him with Jerry in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He's driving around with Jerry. He looks great. By the way, I said Jerry because we're tight like that.
Right, yeah.
I don't even know him. But you know what I'm talking about.
He looks like in Beverly Hills Cop, he's just thinner.
Yeah, he's just young.
And I don't mean thinner that he's fat now. I just mean he's like...
bulked up.
He's bulked up.
Become a man.
Yeah. He was essentially still a child then.
He's so healthy looking.
Yeah, he looks
whatever
great.
Whatever the fuck he's doing. Look at that. That photo. I mean, he might be 36.
Yeah.
He does not look like he's almost 60. I mean, that is
amazing.
Look at Tracy. Look at those gold chains. Those are preposterous. Zoom in on those gold chains again. What in the fuck, Tracy? That's all that Walmart money.
We were at the cellar and Tracy brought jelly beans, and he was like, yeah. He kept talking about the jelly beans like we don't have access to them with our money. You know, like he'd be like I can't do any impression, so this is going to be the worst Tracy Morgan you ever heard. He's like, I got jelly beans. Who else you know can bring jelly beans? And then he's like, eat the jelly beans. He makes like all of us eat jelly beans, and then he goes, not the green ones.
Not the green ones. Now, what are those emblems? One of them is Jesus.
Yeah,
One of them's
that's
Jesus.
a TM on that.
Okay, Tracy Morgan, a big TM, a plate.
And then the
That's
By the
other
way,
one,
something I can't tell.
Yeah, what is that one in the back? Hard to tell.
I'll find that picture.
Bro, that fucking thing has got to be heavy. That must hurt your neck.
yeah,
That's like a bike chain. Scroll down there with Eddie Murphy with that beautiful young lady. Scroll down. Look at that.
yeah.
Is that his girlfriend?
I think it's his
So,
wife, partner, whatever.
Oh, well, he's divorced, right? Isn't he?
Yeah,
Look at that.
I think she
Dude.
just had a baby recently.
Kapow! Still fertile.
Yeah.
85 years old. Ooh, she looks hot. She looks very actressy hot. Slim waist, nice
Yeah.
booty. Congratulations, Eddie. But look at him. He's fucking almost 60 years old. Looks amazing. Look at him.
I can't see it there either.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing, health-wise, incredible.
This is what I want of all people in Hollywood who like look like that. I'm like, just tell us.
What are you doing?
Tell us what you're
Yeah.
doing. I know we probably can't afford it. Well, I probably can't afford it, but like, tell us what you're doing so we at least have an idea that there's some crazy shit behind it.
Look at that fucking picture. Look at that picture right there.
Like, is your water from a different place? What
This is
kind
him-
of vitamins?
This is him for Dolomite,
I
right?
believe
Yeah.
so, yeah.
He's doing press. Almost 60 years old. He looks like he's 15 years younger than me, at least.
I'm looking side by side on the screen. Not bad.
Trust me, bro.
Trying to help you out.
I'm pretty healthy, but I party a little too hard.
Like he's got like a little wrinkle right here, like a little crease in his face,
He's a little character.
slightly.
Makes him look a little bit better. Just something that, and look at those. He only has one earring, sign of the times, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
One diamond earring. He's like, I'm not gay. I'm not gonna have two earrings. That's a big fucking earring too, boy. That is a look at the size of that earring. That's like a fucking $250,000 earring.
Good diamond. It's a good diamond.
It's a big diamond, big ass rock for your ear.
He's done well.
He's done
I
well.
don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah, and he did a thing a few years ago, right when Cosby was starting to get into trouble. When I don't know if you saw it, but he did like this thing where he was at a panel and he was receiving some award, and he started doing a little stand up and talking about them taking away Bill Cosby's awards and Bill Cosby's his what is it? Was it his diploma?
His
Was
Mark
this at
Twain
his Mark
Award.
Twain?
His Mark Twain
Yeah.
award. Yeah.
Yeah.
First live set in 28 years, and I'm telling you, he was so sharp. Did you see it?
No, I remember. I watched it back then. I can't really remember what he said. It
was really
But I remember
good.
watching it back then, and I remember being like, "This guy, 2 weeks on stage, he'd be fine."
Yeah.
Like-
he's sharp. If he had material, he's fucking sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp as a tack.
I mean, how great.
Did you know his brother? Did you know Charlie at all?
I didn't. I mean, a huge fan of his as well.
He was the nicest guy. I loved that guy. That was a bummer. That was a huge bummer. Charlie and I did a tour together in like 2007. We did like 22 cities.
Yeah.
We traveled together for the whole month together. He's the best. He was so nice. He's so cool. Just a fucking great guy.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his too.
And a guy that was basically a famous person first and then started doing stand-up, which is the hardest way to do it.
That's definitely the hardest way.
For
No one wants to
sure.
believe you.
No, you're on stage and people are like, you're famous. Let's
Yeah.
see your A+ act that I paid money to see, and you're basically an open micer,
Yeah,
and people are paying to see you.
yeah.
So he started out, he would host.
That is a very smart way to do
He's a
it.
smart dude. He would host, and then he would, slowly work up enough material that he could do a set. And he was an older guy too.
Yeah,
Like when that happened, I mean, he was deep into his 40s when things really started clicking for him.
that's awesome.
Imagine being an open micer and famous, and in your 40s.
No,
Fuck.
I mean,
Fuck.
at least then though you have life experiences to pull from.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of these people when they're like, some people start in their teens and they turn out to be, the best in the world, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
But other people start in their teens and I'm like, have some life first. What are you telling jokes about?
Right.
I had a whole career. before I got into stand-up.
How old were you when you started?
I started in 2011, so I was 26, 25, 26.
What was you were saying your career, you were talking about?
So I started in finance. I used to work on Wall Street. I got a job at Bear Stearns.
So that's the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's where Joe still trying to make it happen. But I started Bear Stearns in the summer of 2007, and then it collapsed in March of 2008. And then I stayed with JP Morgan for a couple years after that. But I wore a suit every day.
Whoa.
I worked with like mutual funds and separately managed accounts.
When were you thinking about stand-up? Were you thinking about it in the beginning?
Well, so in March of 2008, a bunch of friends of mine, this is like before Bear collapsed, a bunch of friends of mine went to see a taping of SNL. And I've always been such a huge fan that afterwards I was like, how do these people do this? Like, how do you get here? And I Googled them and they all started in improv. So I started doing improv and I did that for a couple years. And then, and even at my first improv class, I was like, whatever, I just want more of this. Like, and then I eventually got into stand-up after that around 2011. But it was one of those things where I was very much like, you know, like a very type A, get good grades, try to get the best grade in the class type of person. And I didn't really develop opinions or a point of view. And so when I started doing improv, I was like, you know, like you make choices and you know, like, and then more I got into stand-up, I was like, yeah, how do I feel about these things? Like, what do I think about them? And then like really just like, I don't know. It's just, that's really when I feel like I started becoming a person.
Wow.
I don't really think I had a personality before that.
Yeah, I wonder if I would have been as curious if I wasn't a stand-up. Like, how much of my curiosity is because I started getting curious about things because I wanted to be able to talk about different things.
Yeah, like I'm definitely much more observational in the world than I used to be. But I might be a little like darker too. Like I remember thinking when I was a kid, like I thought about what my wedding would look like as like a little girl. And now the idea of having a wedding seems ridiculous. Like the idea of me in like a big dress walking down an aisle, like there's none of that I could take seriously.
But if you were going to get married, how would you do it?
I would just go to City Hall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And then have a party or something?
Maybe later. Maybe. I don't know. It seems weird. It seems weird to have a party right after because you're like, let's see if this is going to stay.
But if you're going to get to the point where you're going to have a legal contract with someone, especially you now, because you don't want that Roseanne Barr, Tom Arnold type deal. You don't want to pay some dude off.
Yeah, no.
Like, imagine.
Yeah, I can't.
Things start popping for you. You got some guy who kind of like comes with you on the road, becomes your tour manager.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That would never happen to me, though, because one of the things I find most attractive is a guy being really good at something.
Oh.
So
he's really good at being your tour manager.
Yeah, I mean, just the best tour manager.
The best. Always has the best hotel rooms waiting for you.
Yeah, he's like, there's like every time I go in, it's set up the exact way I want it.
Stocked with green jelly beans.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Tracy
Morgan. Yeah. I think, well, that's the case with most women. Most women, I think, like guys that are good at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see like I mean, we want, I don't know,
provider, someone who's, well, you want successful genes.
Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to. Men want attractive genes, women want successful genes. Or they also want attractive genes too. They want dominant genes, like a big man, big tall man, good features, good symmetry.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those things are genetic. It's normal.
Yeah, I've been working on this new joke about how women, we're attracted to the exact thing that's the most dangerous to us. Like, we like those men, and so we make more dangerous men. Like, we could decide to just only mate with, like, short, soft-boned men and make, like, a whole generation of, like, killable dudes. Killable men. And women would be like, yeah, we're the ones in power, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah, but that would have to be a real conscious decision that's against evolutionary biology.
It would have to be like, women have to be like, first of all, we'd have to get women to agree on something, which isn't going to happen.
No.
But then also, like, you'd have to be like, no, this is the law. Like a reverse handmaids thing or something.
Ooh, reverse handmaids. Yeah, like we're gonna outbreed all the Goliaths, and all the gorillas, all the savages and barbarians. We're gonna cut them off.
Every once in a while, like a baby's born, it's like at the height and weight is too high, and they're like, we've got to get rid of this one.
Flush them. Yeah, hold them down, hold them in the tub. Yeah, that's not wise because China's not going to do that.
China's not going to do that.
They're going to use CRISPR and develop Hulk babies.
We're gonna need the might. We're gonna need the muscle.
Dum dum dum. Are you worried at all about something like that? Are you worried about a war
with China?
Do you ever think about
that?
Do you ever think like Russia, China? Like I've been hearing this term, hot war. Mm-hmm. You know, like we're involved in a Cold War with Russia. We're involved in a Cold War with Russia.
What do they define hot
war? Bullets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can imagine us getting into a war like that again, but I do worry about like hacking, like more of like a what's it called?
Cyber war.
Yeah, cyber war. Yeah. I think that's much more likely.
It is much more likely, but goddamn, if there was some sort of like a real attack from China or from Russia, it would be more China than Russia. I think from what I understand, Russia does not really have the money. They have, they have a military, but they don't have the kind of military that we have. It's a pretty big drop off from the United States to what Russia has, but they're scary enough and dangerous enough that we have to keep an eye on them.
I feel
China,
like ever since nuclear weapons came about, people are like, yeah, let's not do those kinds of wars anymore.
Yeah, but we still do them in Iraq. We still did it in Afghanistan. We'll still go in if there's, air quotes, insurgents.
Right, yeah. And, we need the oil.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, no, our oil's getting a little low. Yeah. No, I think often, like, what if there was a war and they had to put the draft back in?
Ooh.
And then I'd think about all my guy friends, and I'd be like, well, first of all, I don't want them to fight, like, because I like them. But also, can you imagine, like, Mark Normand, like, as a soldier?
He's a pretty fit guy.
He's very fit, but I can't imagine him, like, killing people. Like, I can't imagine him on a battlefield. He'd probably make snarky jokes.
I can imagine Ari could kill people. I can imagine Ari killing people.
I can imagine Ari giving the other soldiers some sort of
drugs.
Pill.
Yeah, for sure. He would definitely dose their water supply. Guys, I know how to stop this. Just find the reservoir and dump a bucket of acid into it. This is just going to make whatever happens
today a lot of fun.
Like, who out of your friends do you think would be a good soldier?
Well, I think Dan Soder would be a good soldier.
He's a big fella.
He's a big guy, and he's also just like
He was a football player.
He was a football player. I mean, he's a teddy bear, but he's also, I think, for the right reasons, he'd be like, I would kill them. But it would have to feel personal to him.
Personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the commies.
I don't think... it's more fun to think about the people I don't think could do it. Like,
who?
Like, there's no way Keith Robinson, even before his stroke, was getting into a war.
That's fucked up. But after the stroke, maybe he's got less to lose.
So no, he's even now. In. Now really? he'd be like, I'm out. I got a stroke. Look at me. I can't fight.
Has he had any recovery of his motor skills?
It's still pretty much like not super usable.
Yeah.
But he gets up on stage every night. Jokes are probably funnier than ever. His stroke material is like really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's one of my favorite people to sit at the table with.
Yeah.
Because you sit down, you're immediately making fun of each other.
Right.
You're making fun of everyone else. Like, it's just jokes the whole night. It's
People
so
don't
fun.
understand why that's so fun for us.
It's
to shit on each other.
It's great. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do.
It's one of my favorite things too about comics is shitting on each other. It's fun, and it's good for you. It really is.
Yeah.
It's healthy to like get shit on so you laugh and like know that you could laugh at yourself. People who can't laugh at someone shitting on them, they're the worst.
The worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's just like we're just having fun. It's also like it allows us to say the stuff that like Because comics will say pretty much anything on stage, but there is a line where we're like, no, this is for only other comics.
Yes.
You know? So true. Like, we gotta.
Yes.
There's oftentimes we'll be in a discussion and we'll kind of look around and be like, if that guy heard any of that stuff we were talking about having sex with midgets, I don't think any of us are going to have a career anymore.
Yeah. If someone put like a hidden camera and a hidden microphone in the back bar of the Comedy Store, oh, Jesus Christ.
No. Yeah. I mean, really, really in trouble.
When you're trying to shock other comics, you know, you're trying to shock road-hardened veterans.
Well, because our problem is that, like, we want to say the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And normally that's way past the line.
Right.
Even past our line, where you're just like, no, this isn't.
I have this Sober October group text that I'm in with Ari Shafir, Bert Kreischer, and Tom Segura, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so ruthless and so ridiculous. I just go, oh, fuck. I'm in a few of those texts.
Yeah, me
group
too.
Texts.
And
group texts with other comics are the best.
It's so great. I also have a group text that's with a couple of my female friends, and like that one, I'll look away from my phone and then I'll look back a minute or two later and there's be like 96 texts, and I'm just like, what happened? And there's 3 different conversations going on
Simultaneously.
It's just like, yeah,
I can't do that. I don't understand that.
It's really like being friends with women is a lot of work. It's like,
do you prefer being friends with men?
I love being friends with men. I also love being friends with women because there's stuff that you can talk to them about that just like, either you can say it to men, but they're not going to have the in-depth discussion about it that you want it to happen. You know, like women will just indulge each other and be like, but how did he say it? You know? Like, oh, he put a period? Like, was there a period after the text? And he's like, yeah, there was a period. Well, then, yeah, I don't think that's good.
Yeah, you know? If he just left it open. Maybe it's casual.
Yeah.
You know what? How many times have you had a conversation when someone just writes something like, sure?
Yes.
You're like, what does that mean?
I do it
what
all.
Does sure mean?
I do it accidentally sometimes. I'll be like, yeah, sure. Well, no, I won't say,
right.
Yeah, I'll just say sure.
Right. Do you want to go there? Sure. Okay. She's mad.
Yeah.
She's mad. Sure?
Yeah.
What does sure mean?
Sure sounds like a fight is about to happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
You always decide. You always.
Another, like, more aggressive would be fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Do you want to go there? Fine. Oh, fine.
Yeah.
The fuck's that
I'm
mean?
in trouble.
Fine's
I'm
not
in
good.
a lot of trouble.
Fine's not good. You go to pick her up. She's not smiling. Like, what are we doing? Should we do this? Should we stay home? Fine.
If you want to fight, let's just do it now and not wait till we get to the restaurant.
Yeah, what is fine? The fuck does that mean?
I also think it's good for men when women have a lot of female friends because, like, good for the either person you're dating or married to. You should want your girlfriend to have a couple female friends so that she can have the conversations.
Oh, yeah.
With, like, the more I think about relationships, the more I'm like, no, men and women, like, a husband and wife shouldn't be having all of those discussions. Like, he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it. Have it with your girlfriends, and then just talk to him about whatever else. Like,
yes, I couldn't agree more.
It's an unrealistic expectation.
I go on double dates with my wife and her and her friend and me, and it winds up being 2 different conversations. I get stuck with the husband, and she's talking to her friend like, "Oh my god, so cute! Oh my god, did he say that? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah,
and they just have these rambling girl conversations. I go, hey, let's have one conversation.
Yeah,
we can't do this 2 conversations things.
Yeah, and it's like it's so nice to have like the girls just to be like, yeah, I get to indulge the girl side of myself.
Right,
like,
but that's a thing. That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like,
some people want to pretend that men and women are the same thing.
I think that's such a detriment to both men and women. Like saying that women are the same as men, it's like, well, we're not, but also, why do we want to be?
Right. Why is that happening?
Why is that even the standard?
Right.
Like, just let women be what we are.
Yes.
And men can be what they are. And then there's some people that do float in the middle, but like...
Well, I think it all gets conflated with equal rights. Like equality, equal rights, equal laws, equal, willingness to try different jobs, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then we decide that men and women are not any different, and that these are all cultural creations, and these are things that are concocted by society.
Right. And I think it's bad for women when we say, well, we're just the same as men, because it's like, you're saying with that sentence that men are correct. And when you finally start to think of us as men, as the same as men, now we're correct too.
Well, what I like to say is that men and women aren't math.
Exactly.
Like, we're not equal. We're different things.
Yeah.
It's not an equality thing. You make all the people. Like, there will never be equal to you. You make every fucking human that's ever made is made in a woman's body.
Exactly.
This whole thing, though, is weird to me because I'm like, where did this come from? This didn't exist before. The equal rights thing existed before.
Yeah.
But that it's some sort of a cultural creation that women are different than men. That this is something that society has sort of imposed on women. Like, no, women like different things.
Yeah. And we just sometimes just like to be around each other, which men, I think, sometimes just like to be around each other too.
For sure.
You know, like, it's like, and I can hang out with the boys, no problem. I grew up with older brothers, you know, like, all I ever did was hang out with boys. But now, like, I also see so much value in just getting to be with girls.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's and men do with men. There's a lot of stuff that men like that women don't. A lot of women don't have interest in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay.
It's fine.
But this idea, like, that's toxic, like toxic masculinity, like all this nonsense that we hear today, it's all exactly what we were talking about before, with people trying to control people and define people.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like,
I think that's one of the reasons you see it a lot, especially online, from white women, because we want to have power. You know, like, we want to be able to, and I mean, us being able to tell other people what they can and cannot do or say is us just being like, yep, that's our power now. We might never be better than white men, you know, but we can at least control what you get to say about us. And I think as soon as white women are like, yeah, we do like to have control, then we'll be like, thank you. Let's dismantle all of this. It's the same kind of toxic masculinity, you know, like, it's just like, it's all toxic.
yeah.
You know, like, how dare you tell black people how to feel about, you know, like, what jokes we can and cannot say about black people. Did you ask any of them? You know, like, you see it at shows. I'm sure you see it at stand-up shows where there's, like, white women with their arms crossed. And then, like, when you start talking about race, and then black people who are laughing, and you're like, they're like, you shouldn't be able to tell jokes about black people like that. And it's like, did you look?
Well, I think a lot of it, too, is people working in offices all day where they're constantly suppressed.
Right.
Like, the way you communicate in an office is so vastly different than the way a comic communicates on stage in front of a nightclub.
Yeah.
It's so different that most people, the vast majority of their day is under the spell of human resources.
Right.
You know, they have this imposed standard of communication it's not how they want to talk. It's not how they want to behave and think. Like, look, and also, men and women working together is strange. It's strange. And anybody who says it's not strange has never worked with women and men together.
Right.
Because people get attracted to each other, people get petty, people get jealous, people get flirty, people get mean, people get controlling. They play social games with each other.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you can't even broach the subject now because people are like, it's not an issue. And I'm like, no, there are so many issues. It's fraught with issues.
Yes.
Like, let's talk about it. Like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of sexual harassment that happens in offices, but there's also a lot of legitimate relationships that happen in offices.
Yeah.
Like, there's flirting, there's one-night stands, there's, you know, like, all of this is happening.
People get married and have kids.
People fuck for a while, and then they might hate each other, but they still got to figure out how to work together.
That happens all the time.
All the time.
The hilarious thing is when that happens and there's a boss and someone who's below them.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, he abused his power.
And again, I look at it from my perspective where I'm like, I'm attracted to men who are good and powerful. So if I worked in an office and my boss was really good looking and I was attracted to him and there was a chemistry and we started sleeping together, like, that's what I wanted. And then, you know, like, yeah, this is
You're
like...
You're going to get canceled just for saying that.
100%.
You can't say that. You can't say that you want to be with someone powerful and someone who holds something over you.
Yeah,
Cindy,
I do.
You should fuck the janitor. Be a good person.
Yeah, I mean, if he's really hot, you know, I might get a shot too.
Anyway.
Oh, well,
you could hook him up.
We have to get married now. Yes. This is the whole thing.
Yes, but take it seriously. It's important for his culture. Don't be an asshole about it.
I'm his way in.
There you go.
I do think, like, I do see it now, and this is a weird thing, but like super feminist women, I do see a lot of them kind of dating like jawless, like kind of pushover guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe they're the women I'm talking about. They're like, no, I found these soft-boned men, you know, like.
Jawless is a fun way to describe it.
They're so jawless.
Jawless men. Fuck, that's such a bummer. Really bad genes like that. Like, ooh, there's not a goddamn thing they can do about that.
No, I don't think you can get a new jaw.
They give you a jaw surgery. They could like try to grow your jaw out with like they cut your jaw and break it and ugh. I know a lady who got a chin. She had a chin like this.
And she didn't want to keep it?
No, she didn't want to keep it. So she got a chin implant. I think they might have done something to her actual jaw itself too. But it was one of those very unfortunate chins. You know.
And then she couldn't eat for like.
I don't know. They put a piece of plastic or something where her chin, like it used to go in too far. Yeah. And then it came out a little bit.
Did she have syphilis?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't know her that well. She told me she had a chin implant. I was like, what? Like, you had a what? You like your jaw? She didn't like the shape of her jaw, so she got her jaw reworked.
Well, some of these guys should look into that.
I don't think there's much you can do if you have a tiny little jaw. Fuck. That's a bummer.
But yeah, working with men and women working together is like, there's a way to figure it out, but it's fraught with complications.
It is. And the real issue is people holding things over you in order to get you to sleep with them. It's not you,
100%.
You being someone who works with someone who's legitimately attracted to this guy and then you get together. It's still, if I was running a company, I'd say, hey, don't fuck each other, you assholes. I'm trying to make money.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I want productivity.
I don't want to.
And I can't condone it legally.
Right.
Because if I say, yeah, what are you, banging your secretary? All right. Fuck yeah. Take a picture. Come on. You know, like, what am I going to say? You would have to say that it's in the rules and regulations. You would have to say. But there's no way you can tell me that it's not possible for a man and a woman who are working together and the guy's the boss and the woman works under him and they fall in love and they have an amazing relationship.
It happens all the time.
It does.
Bill and Melinda Gates.
Oh,
she worked at Microsoft.
That piece of shit. Bill is a piece of shit.
I mean,
he's a power-hungry piece of shit who abused his power.
And you can see it when you look at
It's basically rape. It's basically rape.
Basically,
he had power over her.
Basically,
yeah.
She's actually been a prisoner.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. We got to give her half of that $100 billion that he has and get her out of that.
But that's like
ivory tower.
Of course, this happens. Of
course it happens. Yeah, it's what the real issue is. Someone sexually harassing you. Like some guy was holding a promotion over your head saying that he wants you to sleep with him or making lewd comments and make you feel disgusted.
Right.
Or you show up to work and you're not interested in that person at all. You just want to do your job and they're making comments about your breasts or your legs or your mouth or fuck.
Oh, the mouth comments are the worst. They're somehow creepier than like the breast or the butt. Yeah. It's just like your mouth. Oh, stop it.
You just picture him with his just fly down pants still on. Pulls his cock.
Oh, God. Oh, look at that little mouth. Stop talking about my mouth.
The problem is there's no equivalent with men. There's no one thing that a woman could say to a man that makes him feel like a piece of meat like that, like humiliated.
It's so hard to sexually harass men because they're into so much of it.
Yeah, I would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if we're attracted to you, you sexually harass. Like if your boss is like, you want this job? You got to eat my pussy. Be like, oh, eat your pussy. Let's fucking do this.
Here or later or?
I'll throw you on that desk right now. How much am I getting? How much of a raise are we talking about here?
Can I also get a couple extra vacation days?
Yeah. How many days do I get and how many can I get?
Does it depend on the performance?
Yeah. Right. Like, what if I really know what I'm doing? Can we do this a lot?
She's like, well, let me see. I don't know. I'll give you a performance review.
I know you're married and I have a wife as well. So let's just like keep this on the line. I'll just fuck the shit out of you at work. We're good?
Good.
We're good?
All right,
I'll make an extra 40, 50 grand a year.
By the way, we are going to need to get something to lock that door.
And you want the Matt Lauer buttons. Click.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, even if like a male boss, even if he got everything like in writing beforehand saying like this is consensual.
Yes.
I think you could easily say afterwards it wasn't. I felt coerced into signing that.
Well, that's what's exactly happening with Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Is
happened.
it?
Yeah, that's exactly. He was having a sexual affair with a woman that he worked with that wasn't even under him. She was in a different department, and they're still saying that he had like power over her. It might be correct though. See, the thing is with this Ronan Farrow guy, you know, he's obviously a real legitimate journalist, and he's done a deep dive into these things. So it's so hard to say until Matt Lauer comes out and just like has. Oh, he has to make statements, I guess, on all these different things because apparently there were some people that got paid off,
right?
And it's something that like NBC denied, and then he's proven there's been several different compensation payoffs, people that were sexually harassed.
Well, even when you hear like about payments, you're like, yeah, that might mean it's legitimate, or it might mean that they thought this is the easiest way to fix this problem.
Unless you're talking about Bill O'Reilly.
That is, yeah.
That's the gold standard of sexual harassment payments. When he paid that chick $32 million, you're like, "What did you say, Bill?
Yeah.
What did you do?"
That's not just keep quiet money.
No.
That's just like, no, we don't. I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. Just give her the $32 million. It's like
$32 million. Now, and we went over it. Apparently, there's also a clause that she has to deny that anything ever took place. And then if evidence comes out, she has to lie and say that evidence is not valid.
I mean, for $32 million.
You got to do what you got to do. You're in the clear for life. You don't have to work again. That lady right now has probably got her feet up. She's probably got like fluffy slippers on, sipping tea.
Living exactly where she wants to live.
Laughing.
Yeah.
Because every now and then she just like wakes up in the morning and then just realizes she doesn't have to do shit ever again. Fuck you, Bill.
I mean, she won.
Oh my God, did she win? She won $32 million.
Yeah.
If you live a reasonable life, you don't have to do a goddamn thing with $32 million. You take vacations every year. You buy a nice fat new car every year. You live in a beautiful house. You have to do shit.
You have help. You have like, I mean, you're set.
$32 million. What is that? In just 10%, that's $3 million a year just in interest.
Yeah.
Right?
If you can make your money work for you.
You're a financial person. Is that real? Can you do that?
Would get 10% interest? Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're invested in.
If you have legit $32 million in the bank, what would you get out of that?
Well,
yearly?
is it just in what is it in? A savings account? Is it in a
funds and 401ks? And what would it have to be in order to get $3 million a year?
I don't know. Well, it would have to be in. But
Bernie Madoff type shit.
I know. I mean, I only ever like sold mutual funds. Like that's what we did. Like due diligence on mutual funds and stuff like that. And tried to convince brokers to It really depends. Like I mean, there's a lot of funds that like it fluctuates, but there's like a good 4%. You know, like
4%.
Yeah,
that's not good enough.
You need. She
10. Wants to live like a baller. Yeah, she needs more.
I'm sure there's higher yield ones that you could use.
4%'s not even $1 million a year. She needs 10. What are we gonna do?
We got to diversify.
We got to diversify.
I don't have anything in the stock market anymore because after Barrett collapsed, and I literally saw people that were working there for 30 years lose everything because they lost their job and they were reinvested in the company, which they say you're not supposed to do. But this company, like Bear, like built itself on being like loyalty and like, you know, like work for us, help people move ahead, and then they'd reinvest back into the company. You get stocks, like all this stuff, and then you lost your job and the stock price went from $1.30 to $2. You're fucked.
Did it help you when everything crashed to give you a jump to get into stand-up and go balls out?
No, it was...
Sorry for the male expression.
No. How dare you?
Sorry to gender.
Yeah, because you can't say labia out. That's very weird.
What can you say? Clit out?
Yeah. I went real clit out on this.
That might be a new thing.
That sounds bad coming out of my little mouth.
Oh my God.
No, it was like I was cheap. I was cheap, relatively cheap labor compared to everyone else. I knew I wasn't going to lose my job. I also came up with a Microsoft Access program that we used in the department that no one else knew how to use.
Really?
Yeah. So
you kind of had your job locked in.
Yeah.
But the company could go under.
The company could go under, but it wasn't. I was still in the early enough phase that like I had no idea what this whole comedy thing was going to turn into. And
did it give you motivation, like knowing that all these people that did work hard towards a legitimate career, that it could all fall apart on them?
I mean, that scarred me, I think, in a different way, where I was just like, oh, you can't trust the stock market. Like it more put me, like, it didn't make me worry about like my career or anything like that. Like I think I was too young to think about longevity career-wise. And I was too new in comedy to think it was like that could all fall apart. I didn't assume it was going to go anywhere anyway. But it really did. Like, people are always like, well, you should be invested. You should be. I'm like, they're like, no, over time. I'm like, no, I know all of the sayings. But if it crashes when you want to retire, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're 60 or whatever it is and you want to retire and your 401k just completely drops, then you got to wait, 10 more years to retire until it gets back up to where it was?
Oof.
So, keep it in cash, baby.
So that's what you do now?
Yeah.
You got a safe at home? Every now and then you throw the money on the bed and just roll around.
Yeah. every once in a while.
Indecent proposal.
How bad would that be? Like, you're like, I'm just going to roll around in this money. And then afterwards, you're like, I got to clean up all this money.
Not only that, you test positive for cocaine.
Yeah. You got every germ.
Yeah. If you're naked and you're rolling around with money.
Disgusting.
Ew, that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even I wash my hands after I touch money.
You should.
It's disgusting.
I mean, it's everyone's carrying it.
Yeah.
So it's something that we know people touch. It's like one of the things that has been passed on from person to person to person to person. Very few objects, like a watch or a light, very few objects are touched by as many people as money.
Yeah, and often.
And strangers.
Yeah.
Dirty people.
It's on the ground.
Yes.
It's in a machine.
Yes.
Like, it's gross.
And the numbers of people that get dollar bills that test positive for cocaine, it's crazy. It's off the charts. Yeah, they did some study on $100 bills, like the percentage of $100 bills that test positive for cocaine. It's really high.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really high.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds in circulation.
Yeah.
You're trying to impress people. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to light it on fire when I'm done. Woo! Did you see that Walmart sweater that they got in trouble for?
Yeah, the cocaine Santa.
Yeah, cocaine Santa.
I like that one.
They're so lame. They didn't even know what the fuck it was.
Yeah, they were like, no, it's snow.
No, stupid.
Like, yeah.
He's got a straw in his hand. What's the percentage of dollar bills? Does it say?
Yeah, but...
What? It's not legit?
Fecal matter showed up more than cocaine.
Yeah, there's a lot of poop.
Of course. Dirty people wipe their hands with their own hands. Just smudge it on their dollar bills. Maybe they wipe their ass with dollar bills when they run out of toilet paper, and then they wash the dollar bill off in the sink, but do a shitty job of it. Pardon the pun.
I mean, if you did run out of toilet paper.
Yeah, it'd be good. It's probably solid. Clean it off in the sink.
It says the flu can last for up to 17 days on a dollar bill.
Oh, great. Credit cards. That's why credit card. When people start getting sick, just pull out the credit card.
That's why when
Don't
I was
touch
little,
cash.
I ate dirt, I ate boogers, I ate grass.
Good move.
And I rarely get sick.
Good move. Solid immune system.
Solid immune system.
Yeah, that's why people in third
Because I was a gross child.
80% for cocaine, 94% according to a 2002 report for poop.
94%.
How is
Including
poop
staff.
getting on everything?
Because people are gross.
Like, they always say, like, there's poop, like, there's fecal matter on, like, your toothbrush if it's, like, near you. I'm like, how is it getting there?
People are gross. We're disgusting.
How is it popping? What's happening?
Well, we're touching railings after you wash your hands. Like, I was at Disneyland. This little kid was sucking on a chain.
Oh, no.
Just had the chain in his mouth. Like, I'm like, your kid. Just shit chain. Just
Disneyland.
Picture someone pulling that chain out of their ass. Clink, 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 clink. Rehooking it up.
That is my favorite ride at Disneyland.
The shit chain. He was sucking on the chain. What's up?
I was muting.
Oh, that's so much. That's such a high percentage. 94 for poop and 80 something for Coke. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking people doing Coke on $100 bills.
100 different strains of bacteria for animals, unspecified domestic animals.
Oh.
Yeah. If you wanted to really spread a disease in this country, spread it through money on it. What do you think would change in society if prostitution was legal? I think it'd be a lot less guys that are stressed.
I think there would be,
People would probably be a little nicer.
I think people would be nicer. I think those women would finally get like there'd be like, they could have like a union.
Yeah.
You know, like they could.
Not really. Hoes would just break union lines. It'd be like,
I want to be at a prostitute union meeting. I really do. I really.
Y'all are charging too little.
No, they're like, I'm not giving my fees. The healthcare was not good this year.
You fucking bitches need to step up. Could you imagine what it'd be like being at a prostitution meeting, all smoking? They're all sitting around, I gotta get out of this fucking job. This job is fucking bullshit.
But there's also like one woman in like a skirt and heels who's just like, we're not all like that, okay? Some of us, we're the classy ones. Like there's the classy versus the unclassy side of the room. You know,
I knew a girl who in college she was a prostitute, but she was a prostitute like she would fuck guys she knew for money, and she didn't want to get a job, and she liked these guys. They were like older married guys, and she was trying to explain it. And I was like, oh, okay, so you knew the guys and you would fuck them for money. She's an artist.
Right.
And she was explaining the whole thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's an argument that comes up a lot where there's some women who say that like, no, I want to do this.
Well, if you want, look, imagine if you're a woman, right, and you're in college, and some guy says, I will pay you $2,000 to have sex. It'll take about an hour. Versus you have to work for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And the guy's a nice guy.
Right.
And you go, oh, okay, he's like this nice businessman and he can't get laid.
Like you maybe would have done it anyway.
Yeah, probably not. But
right.
But either way, it's not the worst thing in the world. You're not disgusted by it. He's not treating you terrible.
Right.
He just likes sexual pleasure from a pretty girl and you like money. And then next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. Like, what is wrong with that? But that obviously that's best case scenario, right?
Right.
The worst case scenario, I think, is pimps and people abusing women and sexual trafficking and all the stuff that's associated with the same sort of thing that's associated with illegal drugs is associated with illegal prostitution, crime, organized crime. I mean, that's what the real problem is. And look, I have 3 daughters. I don't want anybody to be a prostitute, but if they were going to be a prostitute, I would like it to be like a legal thing. Not my kids.
Right.
Some other losers' kids. But if you're going to have prostitution, if it was legal, first of all, why isn't it legal? How come it's okay to fuck anybody you want, but it's not okay to pay for it? That's crazy.
I mean, it's the oldest profession.
Yes.
So there should be something at this point. We should go as a society. Hey, we're not getting rid of this.
Yeah.
Let's just figure out a way to make it as safe.
Test people.
Yeah.
Protect them from creeps. Make sure you have security.
But maybe that's also part of why some guys like it, because it is illegal.
Forbidden. It's dirty. It's naughty.
You can't.
Oh, it's naughty. Like if you look at porn, it's all naughty porn that's popular now. It's all like my stepsister, stepmother, stepbrother. That's all it is. It's all naughty stuff.
Step stuff.
It's all step. Everybody's step. I'm not kidding. It's like those are all the titles. Not that I look. But if I did look, that's what I would find. It's all step this and step that. It's weird. Like people want to be like, and this is where because porn is so prevalent now. And it's so easily accessible.
Right.
And it's so you just get it on your fucking phone. You're watching on the nice screen in your phone. It's in 4K. You stream it anytime you want. So because of that, we're gravitating towards weirder and weirder shit. Like to get our kink off. Like people have to be like, oh, I can't believe we're doing this. And you're supposed to be my sister. Like,
yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not your real sister. I'm just your stepsister. And next thing you know, they're getting crazy.
I love the amount of time it takes to convince someone in porn.
Yeah, real
I'm
quick.
just it's just always like, oh, 5
Do you
seconds?
have a heart on? I can't believe this.
How dare you?
You're disgusting.
Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
I mean, no, it's like that all the time. I mean, I'm not even thinking anything. You're my sister. This is crazy. Let me see it.
I want to see a porn that actually takes the amount of time it would take to convince someone.
It depends on who it is. If it's a slut, it would be accurate. But if it's sorry to slut shame, but if it's like a relationship,
Slut empower. You just slut empowered. I don't think you shamed.
Oh yeah, I slut empowered. Some people like a long, drawn out courtship sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like some guys, guys that are friends with, they prefer that a girl doesn't want to sleep with them quickly because this is a girl that is making good choices.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in your 30s, you start thinking about like, okay, this could be the one.
Yeah. You hear that a lot of times with guys. Like, I mean, that's how they always say you're supposed to play the game. It's just be like, no, hold out for him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can have great relationships after a first one-night stand.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm pretty sure it happens all the time.
All the time. 100%. Yeah.
But I also get the appeal of it. I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I know that people like to chase.
Both things are good. Sometimes it's good to have a couple of cocktails and go, fuck it, let's do this. Woo!
Of course.
Yes.
Why else were you drinking?
Yes. Well, there's these moments where like the universe creates, like especially nightclub moments, couple of cocktails. The universe it just puts those little seeds out there. Like you look at them, they look at you, and you're like, what do you think?
Right.
You're like, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. Wow.
And then, like, I always think about like I live in New York. There's plenty of opportunities for that. How do people in other cities, not even cities, towns, like, you're at a bar. What are you doing? Like, what are the
FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah. Is it all dating apps?
Yeah, there's a farmer's website dating app.
I know that one.
You know that one?
Yeah.
There's a commercial for it. FarmersOnly.com.
it.
It's like a hot girl in Daisy Duke shorts, like with a tractor.
I'm like, please tell me how many look like that.
None.
Please.
Zero.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's hot farmer girls out there that live in those small towns.
Of course
near
there
Hershey.
are. Yeah. I know a farmer from back home. He's really attractive and his wife's really attractive.
What the hell? There you go.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Farmers work
happen.
hard.
They fucking work too hard.
They work really hard for not a lot of money.
That's a difficult
job.
job.
That's like a whole government issue.
Yeah. And it's, they have to like mind their books carefully.
It's, I mean, and then part of it's just dependent on like the weather that year. You work so hard and then all of a sudden it just doesn't rain.
How about farmers' almanacs? Like, what in the fuck is that? You can predict the rain 2 years from now. Like, they have these books where they're like back before they had like real weather satellites.
Yeah.
They have farmers' almanacs.
And they're accurate for the most part.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I don't understand.
What kind of voodoo are they using?
It sounds like witchery.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, there's a lot of things you hear from back then where people people said they were witches, and then you're like, yeah, but also, how did they know?
Well, do you know what that whole witch trial shit was about?
I don't know.
It was about ergot. It was about late frosts. And when you have late frosts, a lot of like wheat in particular,
Right.
it develops fungus. And that fungus is ergot. It's one of the funguses that could grow on it. And ergot produces lysergic acid, produces a very LSD-like effect. So these people were getting acid from the bread. So people were tripping balls and freaking out and thinking that, and also it's always women, right? It's
Right.
always men burning women. It wasn't a warlock hunt.
No
it
one was
a
on
witch
that.
hunt.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like, this bitch, she did it to me. She's using witchcraft. It was, I bet a lot of it was men who were attracted to women and those
course.
women weren't attracted to them and they were angry and then they were on acid.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh my God, she's a witch. And then they were paranoid and they believed in witches back then. They believed in witchcraft. And why wouldn't you if you're on acid eating bread? You didn't even know. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm bewitched.
Right.
I hath been bewitched.
Also, it's a much better excuse for your wife.
Right.
When you're like, yeah, no, she bewitched me. She's
Yes,
a witch.
she's a witch.
There's
Yeah.
no way women aren't going to turn on each other immediately.
They never burnt them though. That was a misnomer.
Is that a lie?
Yeah, they used to drown them, which is kind of more
Well,
fucked
my
up.
favorite thing, not my favorite thing, my favorite
Drowning
thing in the world.
witches? I like to hold
They
them.
used to
I hold their hair.
It was one of those things where it's like, we'll load her with rocks, and if she sinks, she's not a witch.
Oh, that's right.
But then she's dead because she sank to the bottom.
And then we feel bad.
So then we're like, oh, she wasn't a witch. Let's give her a nice burial.
Put a cross on it.
But then if they put a bunch of rocks on you and you floated, you were a witch, and so then they killed you.
Oh, boy.
But I'm going to guess they never found ones that didn't sink to the bottom.
Can you imagine if you had to live back then? Forget about all the smells and the syphilis and all the fucking powdered wigs. Then they're fucking drowning witches. Like, Christ.
Yeah, and then like also you just have kids and they just keep dying.
Oh yeah.
Like you die, you're like everyone's dying. Everyone was always dying.
Well, that's also the whole life expectancy thing.
Yeah.
There were people. It's like someone my friend Chris Ryan had explained that to me. Like when people think that people back in like the 1200s only lived to be 30 years old.
Right.
On average. That's because of infant mortality.
Exactly.
So there's so much infant mortality and childhood mortality that it like lowered that the life expectancy.
Yeah, people were
low.
living to the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It's just that all the babies were also dying.
Ugh,
there's a book by Steven Pinker. I can't remember the name of it is escaping me, but it's a really good book about like oh my God, why can't I think of the name? Can you look up a Steven Pinker book? And it just essentially talks about like how things are actually, because you know people always say good old days, and how things are getting exponentially better and will continue to get better.
Yeah, he was on recently.
He was?
Yeah, about 5-6 months ago. He's great.
I really like him.
I love his work. I love Outliers. Oh, that's Malcolm
that's
Gladwell.
Malcolm, yeah.
I love that too. He was on recently too. He was on much more recently. He was on like a couple weeks ago. But Pinker is excellent. He's just his work.
Enlightenment Now?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he gets massive pushback on that. That's what's interesting because he's saying that everything's better, that there's less violence, there's less crime, there's less rape, there's less all these things, and he shows it statistically. And people are like, you're belittling all the horrible crimes that take place, and you're enabling all these assholes to try to say things are fine and to not be protesting about all these issues. Like, no, just using statistics.
But he's not like what it's again. What makes me bad about the social justice stuff is that he's not saying don't try to keep making things better. Don't try to like there are things we should protest. He's just saying that like no, statistically we're headed in the right direction.
Yes.
And then he even talks about anomalies where we do go backwards sometimes.
Yes.
But like this is all stuff where it's like if you don't want to know the actual information, don't get in the fight to begin with.
Yeah, and don't look at statistics.
People don't want to know facts anymore. They want to go based off their feelings. That's a lot of what happens when you talk about women not being as strong as men.
With sports.
Like, with sports. Like where other people or men who are like trying to fight for women, they're like, they want it to not be true. They want men and women to be the same, as good as each other in sports. And it's like, just because you want it, it doesn't mean it's true.
Well, very few people say that, but something that people do say is that a trans woman is equal to a biological woman, and then that argument is horseshit.
Yeah,
and that argument has been disproved by all these women that are winning world records, and they say, well, there's outliers in sports, period. So that these people that are athletic anomalies like Michael Jordan or whoever, people that are just supreme genetic athletes. So do you discount them? But no, they're coming from a different gender, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. Like I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to find some loophole where it makes sense where a 6'6" man can play girls basketball.
Right.
But you can't because 90% of the population that's not on Twitter, the regular people are going to go, hey, fuck you. And that's what's going on right now. People are going, hey, fuck you. Because this is crazy.
Yeah.
And Martina Navratilova, they're calling her a bigot.
They went after her.
She's a famous lesbian. Yeah. And they're calling her a bigot. She's transphobic. Martina and her transphobic
No,
comments.
She wants things to be competitive.
Yes. Have a trans-only league.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Super simple.
And like people are like,
so many of them.
It's not fair that it has to be separated. It's like,
yes, it is.
Yeah, it is fair.
That's why men and women are separated. Well, this is the argument that I got in with this guy on the show. He was saying that there's not that much difference between men and women. I go, okay, so you think women should be able to compete with men in sports? He said, well, I'm not really saying that. I'm like, but that's exactly what you're saying. Do you think that it's okay if women compete against men in weightlifting and in basketball? How well do you think that would work out for women?
Yeah.
How well do you think it would work out in track and field? How well do you think it would work out in anything? It's nonsense. There's a reason why there's a difference where we define men's sports and women's sports for fairness. So we should have trans-only sports. That way, just fucking, like, if there's that many of them,
yeah,
let's have trans. You're going to find out how few there really are. That's what's going to be really weird.
Exactly. But it's also, it's like, is it not fair, like, that they have to have their own league? I mean, maybe, but also none of this is fair. You know,
Right.
like, it's not, like,
I don't think
none
it's
of us,
not fair if they have their own league. I think it's the only thing that's fair.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, none of us have made any of these choices. Like, we're all born the way we're born, right? If you're a trans person and you were born a man but you've always believed that you were a woman, that's also not fair. You know, like that's a crazy predicament to be put into.
For sure. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I want you competing with me because you're going to destroy me.
Yeah. It's not fair. It's not fair. But you know what is fair?
What?
Your comedy special that's on Netflix right now. Is that a good segue? Nah, it's terrible. Stop lying. What's it called again?
Joke show.
It's on right now, right?
It
Today's
comes
Tuesday?
the 10th. Yeah,
Tomorrow.
Tuesday.
So
Yeah.
tonight at midnight.
Tonight at midnight.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for people to see it.
I've seen clips of it. It's very funny.
Thank you.
You're very funny.
Thank you.
I'm really happy that you came on the show.
Me too.
It was fucking awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I think after the correspondence dinner, all these people think I'm just a political comic. And I'm like, I'll write jokes for any topic.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't like telling political jokes.
But it was kind of cool, the correspondence dinner thing, because that put you on the map.
Yeah, I'm very happy I did it. Don't get me wrong. And I stand by those jokes to this day.
They were great jokes.
Thanks.
You got the president to tweet at you.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Was it disconcerting when that was happening?
I just remember that when he tweeted at me, because he tweeted once after the dinner and then sometime in later in the year, months after. And I was doing a show in Brooklyn. I don't have Twitter on my phone. And
you don't?
No,
Good
I
for
only
you.
have it on my computer. And I was out in Brooklyn doing shows and I was drinking hot toddies because I think I was feeling a little under the weather. And I was like, this will fix it. And I kept getting messages about this tweet and I was like, what's going on? What's happening? And then I finally saw what happened and I was like, well, I guess I got to go home so I can tweet something back.
Go home after you've been drinking
Yeah.
to tweet back at the president.
I'm 3 hot toddies in and I'm just like, all right, what can I say?
What was your be best? You said something where you fucking roasted him. We actually said it on the podcast.
Just now?
No. We actually, when you did it, we were
said,
howling. We said what you said on the podcast.
He said something about
quoted it.
I don't remember the exact tweet he sent me, but it was something so-called comedian did such a terrible job. Oh yeah.
I bet you'd be on my side if I had killed a journalist. Hashtag
And that
be
was right
best.
after that was during the Khashoggi stuff or whatever it was. That Saudi
Jamal Khashoggi. Yeah.
the Saudi journalist that had been murdered.
This is what he said. So-called comedian Michelle Wolf. By the way, best fucking. That is some of the best publicity you could ever get.
Yeah,
the
it's great.
president says this. Bombed so badly last year at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. First of all, not true. You can go listen to the recordings. People were laughing. Come on. This is so crazy that you say that. Bombed so badly. Play it back.
Yeah.
Let's play it back. Huh. What's all that noise?
There was parts of it where people got kind of quiet, but I remember I was like, first of all, this is for the audience at home, but also I was like, it's one of those rooms where you're like, yeah, at best, it feels fine.
Right.
You know, it's like
Fine.
a corporate
Yeah.
gig almost.
Exactly like a corporate gig.
Yeah.
They will have an author instead of a comedian. What a great idea. Good first step and comeback of a dying evening in tradition. Maybe I will go, ? What? Imagine that. Maybe I'll go. What do you think? Oh, please, Donald. I have my new MAGA hat for that event.
I love this because I don't know if he wrote this tweet, though, because the grammar is so perfect that I'm like,
right, the dash in between so and called.
yeah, it just feels like I was like, did someone else draft this?
Could be.
But
Yeah,
maybe I
right?
will go.
Look at correspondence. There's the correct apostrophe after the S.
Yeah, it feels like, I don't know, maybe he dictated this one and someone was like, I'm going to spell everything right.
Yeah. Well, they've done various things to try to stop him. This is 2018. They've done various things to try to slow down his use of Twitter and social media. And I do think that there was a time when someone else was handling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I think he just fucking goes guns blazing,
At
pops
some
2
point.
Adderalls and a Sudafed, and just starts fucking thumbing it, hammering
2
it.
Adderalls and a Sudafed.
Just gets after it. You know, it's fucking wild to see. I had a dream last night, and I forgot about it until we started talking about it. That he was battle rapping, and that some woman made a rap about him, and then he made a rap back at her. I had a dream. Maybe it's because I knew you were coming in here, and we were probably going to talk about it. What a weird fucking dream. And his battle rap was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was like pretty, and people were like, that is pretty fucking good. Like, it was a good battle rap.
He says stuff sometimes where you're like, that's
Funny.
bars, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
But then there's other times where you're like, wait, but he's the president. Like,
I wish he wasn't the president, because sometimes the shit he says is hilarious. When he put a fucking giant Trump tower on Greenland, when they were talking about whether or not we were gonna buy Greenland, he goes, I promise not to do this, and he shows Greenland with a giant gold Trump tower in it. He tweeted that. The president. That's fucking hilarious.
it's funny, and then you're also like, oh, come on, why are you president?
Well,
like, anytime he holds up a graph of any sort, I'm just
Right.
like, this is great. There's no y-axis, you know? Like, it's always stuff where you're just like, this is amazing. Why are you president?
yeah, I don't know if there's a better person to represent how crazy today is, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to look at like the
It's a mirror.
personification, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And on that note, Michelle Wolf, thank you very much. Your Netflix special will be, by the time people hear this, it'll be out later today. But the actual special will be Tuesday night at midnight or midnight tonight,
Pacific.
midnight Monday night.
Midnight Monday night, yeah.
Right. So Tuesday, it's out. So you can hear this. It's out. Most likely, it's out. Go get it. Go get it, bitches. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you.
for
It was
having
fun.
me.
It was fun.
Thank
I loved
you.
it.